Now then, we have had news of the toss, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Alex Hartley and Georgia Elwes, two former World Cup winners. And England have won it.
Yes.
They have elected to bowl. Let me just set up the situation here. England are 8 points to 2 up in this multi-format, points-based series. 4 points for the test matches and 2 points on offer for each of the white ball games. The test match was drawn, rain-affected draw. England have swept the ODIs against a lacklustre South Africa. They've marmalised them, they've destroyed them, they've eviscerated them really. And now they stand on the threshold of being able to take the series almost as quickly as it's possible to do by winning today's game, and at Chelmsford under cloudy skies with the lights of it just come on, and they have won the toss and they've elected to bowl. But I guess, the big story is all about the team news. We'll start, Alex, with England's team. I think we had a fairly good idea it was going to be this, but nonetheless it's quite a difference, isn't it? Danny Wyatt and Sophia Dunkley opening the batting.
I really like that. With Tammy Beaumont missing out on T20 and Commonwealth selection, they have to replace her with somebody at the top of the order. They've gone with the aggression of Sophia Dunkley. She's been brilliant in the ODI series after being promoted to 3. She's coming off the back of 100, coming off the back of a lot of runs, and I think it's a really positive move for England.
We've then got a floating Bryony Smith, who will come in at probably either 3 or 7. If a wicket goes early, she'll come in at 3. If it doesn't, she'll come in at 7. The rest of the lineup is a lot more familiar. Nat Siver, Heather Knight, Amy Jones in that powerhouse of middle order. But then Maya Bouchier is back. What a time for Maya Bouchier. Georgia Elwes, terrific in the field and a very exciting bat.
Yes, she is absolutely, and she loves her cricket. She's hard hitting. She's exactly what England require in that middle order. Someone who can hit boundaries out of the power play, will run well between the wickets, and then the added bonus of being a gun fielder as well. So she's a really good fit for this T20 side.
And then a bowling attack. Well, it's a blend of experience and youth, really. Although one of the experienced ones is quite youthful. Eccleston and Brunt at 8 and 9, and then Izzy, Wong and Sarah Glenn. Now Sarah Glenn's played for England before, but she's been sort of in and out of the side. Her last game was during the Ashes in a rain-affected game from memory.
She didn't have the best game there either. I think she went at like 13s, so she'll be looking to put that right. She played a lot of domestic cricket and had a good season. So.
And Izzy Wong in T20. There's a danger with the pace coming on Georgia that she could leak runs, but also it's a potent wicket-taking threat.
Yeah, absolutely, but that's the role that she's been playing throughout this series. They're not afraid that she might go for runs in the hope that she does pick up wickets, but she's a fantastic, exciting prospect, and England obviously see a real future with her, and I think we're all very excited about what she can offer to this bowling lineup.
And to be clear, there's a Commonwealth Games coming up. This isn't a warm-up. This is a fully fledged series, and England want to win the series, but they get the opportunity to play these 3 T20s with the Commonwealth Games happening next week, isn't it? I think you guys are going up to Birmingham for that. So this is really vital preparation. It also means, they've left on the bench here Kate Cross and Freya Davis. Freya Davis, you might say, unlucky to miss out again. And they've also left out, for the romantics, it's a bit of a shame, Alice Capsey and Freya Kemp, the 2 youngsters that grabbed all the headlines when the Commonwealth Games squad was announced.
England win today. We'll see all of those. We'll see Davis, Capsey and Kemp play some part in this series because they have to look forward to the Commonwealth. Yes, the Commonwealth, they'll play their strongest side in every single game because they'll want to win that, but I will be very surprised if we don't see those 3 play.
I'm guessing for Capsey, she's looking at that sort of either Bryony Smith or Maya Bouchier spot, isn't she? Because she gives that extra pizzazz with the ball as well as being a gun bat.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's a keeper as well, so she does everything, to be honest. And how old is she? 16? It's frightening. 17.
17, she'll be 18 in August.
Yeah, it's frightening. Both of those players, her and Freya Kemp, are fantastic prospects, and I think Alex is right. They're not going to sit on the bench the whole of this series. England need to know what both of them are about, and both of them hit the ball incredibly hard. They hit boundaries, and both offer that bowling threat as well, so the future is very bright.
Now obviously, in normal circumstances, one keeps one's eye on what England are up to here. They're the sort of the talk of the town, but actually for me, what's fascinated me in this series is South Africa and just how disappointingly woeful they have been at times. And I know one shouldn't necessarily do this, but I'm putting a lot of the blame at the door of the captain, or at least the leadership group, because they have looked leaderless and rudderless in this series, and I'm not sure what the team that we're looking at here can possibly line up the way it is doing. What we've been given is Annika Bosch and Lara Goodall to open.
Yep.
Soonalise at 3, Wolfart 4, Mignon du Preez, welcome experience back in the middle order. Chloe Tryon, who's the most explosive batter in this lineup, down at 6. Delmari Tucker, about whom I must confess I know not too much. I'm hoping you guys can fill me in a bit on Delmari Tucker. We know she's a spinner and a right-hand bat, but
an all-rounder. Let's call her an all-rounder.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Zali Jafta, who was keeping during the test match, she's back. Shabnim Ismail to provide that bit of pace and that bit of class. Speaking of class, Masabata class in at number 10. Boom! And,
well there.
Adayabonga Kaka, a very familiar face, down at number 11. Now, the problem, Georgia, as I see it, is that, well, I mean, we watched him at Northampton, and the skipper was a deep third. The next most experienced player, Marizanne Kapp, who's not playing, and we understand we're going to get news at 7 o'clock exactly why she's not playing. Yes, and the suspicion is that she's not playing tonight. There's obviously a question mark about whether she's going to play any more in this series, and I've also put a question mark against her involvement in the Commonwealth Games. So we will find out more in 4 or 5 minutes' time. But the important thing is that she's not there. She's been the most dynamic batter in that side, and she's part of the leadership group, and we saw them both on the boundary as England sort of sauntered their way to victory at Northampton. It wasn't a good look, Georgia.
No, it's quite bizarre, really. I know Sinead Lees is nursing a little finger injury, so she doesn't want to put herself in the ring, but she needs to be where she can have an impact, and her standing at deep fine leg does not look good. I'm not sure. I think it's Chloe Tryon's the vice captain for South Africa, and it didn't look like she was really taking much of a role.
Well, we didn't know that, did we? So
it's they do look a little bit lost in the way that they're playing. I think a reset is good. Mignon Dupree obviously comes back into this T20 side, and she brings huge experience, and she will bring that leadership quality as well. She's obviously captained South Africa in the past, so you just hope that they've had a few days to regroup. Changed batting lineup completely, isn't it? So maybe that'll be fortuitous. We'll have to see.
What do you make of that? I mean, I just would have thought in T20 you want your most reliable and better bat up near the top, and having just Wolfhard just needs to set the tone, doesn't she, by going in at the top?
And she did that exactly in the last game. She hit Kate Cross with 16 off Kate Cross's first over. She opens the batting in franchise cricket, and in the 100 for the Northern Superchargers. So why is she not opening? That doesn't make sense to me. And Chloe Tryon, she's probably in the form of her life. She scored so many runs. Get her up the order. What you're actually doing here, England get a couple of quick wickets. They're going to have to get 3 or 4 more wickets until their best batters are coming in. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, they're actually incentivised not to take some wickets early doors, aren't they? I mean, but Lara Goodall's looked pretty solid to me, but she's not looked particularly dynamic, and she doesn't scream T20 opener.
No, I completely agree with both of you. I think I can see it on one sense they're trying to strengthen their middle order, but in T20 cricket you've got to make the most of all the balls that are available, and the power play is so important. We've seen England with a completely different approach. They're wanting to make the most out of that power play, so maybe we'll see some fireworks from these two, but it's not what we've seen so far this series.
Look, it really is different. Sophia Dunkley coming into the top of the order because they think Tammy Beaumont, of all players, might chew up just a few too many balls, and South Africa have gone with this opening partnership. More thoughts from Alex Harley, because the players coming out there. Catherine Brunt, it looks like, is going to take the first ball from the Hayes close end, and kicking off commentary for the first 5 overs, I'm delighted to say, it will be Emily Winter.
Yeah, I would love to be proven wrong, with Bosch and Goodall at the top of the order. I'd love to see them go out and just hit Catherine Brunt to the boundary, but Goodall's strike rate is 100, so that to me isn't suggesting she's going to go out and score quickly. It's a strange one against one of the world's best bowlers, one of the world's senior bowlers. For me, you have to have Wolfhard at the top of the order. I can sort of see why they've tried to strengthen that middle order, but as Elwys said, there aren't many balls in T20. You want to utilise every single one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Alex. Good evening, everyone. I think a very interesting how South Africa line up, but let's see how these two go about it. The countdown was on the screen and all the players kneel. And you hear the applaud from the crowd. So one slip in play, Heather Knight. Amy Jones behind the stumps with the gloves as always for England. And Catherine Brunt with the new ball in her hand. She'll be bowling to Anika Bosch. She starts her run up now. In she comes to Bosch. She bowls, and that's turned away on the leg side. She's got hold of that. Down to fine leg. Sarah Glenn does the fielding, so we're off the mark. One off the first ball.
Just refreshing Cricket South Africa's Twitter so we get the news on Marizanne Kapp. And I shall give you that news as soon as it does.
Left-hand, right-hand combination as well. Definitely not a fielding team's favourite or a bowler, making them adjust their line.
So duo Marizan Kapp and Tume Sakakune have been ruled out of the T20 series against England.
There's Catherine Brunt into Goodall bowled, and that's turned to mid-wicket. Will be no run, slight misfield.
Kapp returns home to South Africa for family reasons, and Sakakune has sustained a reoccurrent right groin injury.
It's a big loss that for obviously South Africa. Marizan Kapp not on form with the ball but with the bat in this series so far. She's really been behind Laura Wolvart, one of the leading run scorers. I wish her all the best going home and hope things are okay as Catherine Brunt in again, and she bowls, and that's a play and miss outside the off stump. Given! That's reviewed straight away. There was no real appeal.
There was no appeal from Amy Jones or Heather Knight in the slips. Catherine Brunt just ran down with her arm in the air, said, "How is that?" Umpires,
Sarah Bartlett's put her finger straight up, but there is a review.
well, you know as a batter, surely if you've hit this or not. It's a big swipe outside the off stump.
And I'd have thought as well, the England keeper, at least, Amy Jones, a slip would go up a bit more. So the England fielders are all gathered together. The two South African batters are as well, but looking at Goodall, her body language doesn't suggest she's hit this. She looks chilled. Shout in the crease as we look at the replay.
It's fresh air, isn't it? I think she might have hit the floor. That's my thought.
Jonesy, the keeper, you can hear in the stump mic as the players are laughing as it goes past the bat. Clear air, but she's hit the floor, which is the noise Sarah Bartlett's heard, so it will be not out.
Umpire Hartley strikes again. That was one of the worst umpiring decisions I've seen on a cricket field from Sarah Bartlett, unfortunately. The ball is probably an inch away from the outside edge of the bat.
I guess though for her, is it a big moment? She hasn't done many internationals. She's done a lot in the women's domestic game over here. She's probably a bit of nerves.
Yeah, you forget about that as well, don't you? Forget that she will be nervous.
Anyway, we're back on. Catherine Brunt into Goodall bowls, and she bowled her! That one is out. Lara Goodall's leg stump flashes red, and the score 1-1.
Brilliant delivery from Catherine Brunt, who does get Goodall in the end. The ball before referred, she didn't hit it, caught behind that ball straighter. Goodall's gone to play across the line of the ball, heave it into the leg side, and England get the early breakthrough. Seam up delivery from Brunt, and it just clips the top of off stump. It's an excellent ball from Catherine Brunt and a poor shot from Goodall.
So the captain, Sune, leads us in early. There was one thing there, she wasn't holding back, was she? She was going hard in the power play. Just a real hoik across the line, really. So Africa in trouble already, 1-1. A lot for Sune Lees to do. She hasn't had a very good series so far with the bat personally.
She's had the weight of the world on her shoulders, really, Sune Lees. You know, doesn't look like she's overly excited to be South African captain in the absence of Dania van Niekerk.
She sets herself, still a slip in play. Heather Knight as Catherine Brunt in bowls, and that's pushed into the covers. Danny Wyatt there, drop and roll. Will be no run. That's one for the cameras, that from Danny Wyatt.
Yeah, we keep doing these fielding sessions at the minute, and I know the England girls are, where you pick up the ball, you've got to roll on the floor. Get used to hitting the floor.
You can hear England buzzing in the background. Izzy Wong down below us on the third man boundary. It's Catherine Brunt in bowls, and that's driven to extra cover, and that's Siva does the fielding, the England vice captain. That's the end of the first over, 1-1 South Africa. Great start from the England legend Catherine Brunt.
Catherine Brunt playing that first ODI for England and showing her class. She was brilliant in that game, and then didn't play the next two. England were looking at the new era of fast bowlers when we saw a bit of Lauren Bell, a little bit of Izzy Wong. And she's come straight into the attack today and picked up the wicket of Goodall. And with the new era, and with the exciting new era of English cricket, we're going to see Izzy Wong with the new ball. And a big smile on her face on T20 debut.
Yeah, she's certainly going to enjoy her moment out there, and she certainly won't hold back with the pace. She's going to throw this ball down to Anika Bosch. They're just asking for a second ball because there's a ball from either end.
Not in T20, there's not. I think the umpire Bartlett just put it back in her pocket.
She's thrown the eye cricket. She's been too busy with the Rachel Hey-Ho Flint. Poor Sarah Bartlett's not having a great start. I'm sure
the nerves will settle now,
she'll bring
surely.
it back. Anyway, Izzy Wong, 25 on her back, charging in past the umpire bowls, and in defence from Bosch. There'll be no run. I'll tell you what here, Alex, I hope that early wicket from South Africa doesn't change the way these two play, because you know with this England batting lineup, this England side, they can't just get to a 120, a runnable 120. They're going to need probably 150 minimum.
Yeah, they are. I think that's why it doesn't make sense to me why Wolfart's so far down the order.
Izzy Wong in from the river end, bowls to Bosch, and in defence again, just rushes her for pace. And she plays it to Maya Bouchier at mid-wicket, no run.
Izzy Wong's had a great time against South Africa. She made all three of her debuts, Test, ODI and T20 against South Africa in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So no wonder she's got a huge smile on her face.
And rightly deserved. She's been unbelievable in all domestic competitions. She's got that extra bit of pace, and exciting to see her in the England attack as she comes in again. Still smile on her face as she's running in. She bowls, and that's pull and then dug out over her head. That was a crowd catch straight into the ground. Real pace here from Izzy Wong, yet to concede a run from her first 3 deliveries. Score 1 for 1.
Yeah, Bosch here just slamming down on a Yorker length delivery from Izzy Wong, but also hasn't really looked to score yet. I think they need somebody else at the top of the order that's going to take it to England.
Wong to Bosch, bowls, and that's driven to mid-on. Catherine Brunt does the fielding, another dot ball. She throws the ball over Jones' head, the keeper, but don't worry, Heather Knight, the captain's backing up.
She does say sorry. She's got a huge smile on her face. She must have had a Weetabix this morning.
You can hear England really chirpy in the stump mic. Why wouldn't they be? 1 for 1 off 1.4 deliveries in a T20. Wong to Bosch, that's full dugout again. Yorker length, they come through for a quick single. Maya Bouchier doesn't pick it up cleanly, and they make it in the end. Bosch is up to 2.
Another Yorker delivery from Izzy Wong. Run out opportunity from Maya Bouchier, and she runs to where the ball's sort of gone to a what's it called? I've lost my train of thought.
Short leg.
Short leg. There we go. God, we're not playing Test cricket now.
Just to clarify, there is no short leg.
There is no short leg, so Maya Bouchier had to run there and didn't pick the ball up. Oh God, we'll get there in the end.
Wong into loose bowls, and that's a leading edge into the offside. 1 bounce to Nat Sivera extra cover, but what an over from Izzy Wong. Just 1 run from it. 2 for 1 South Africa. 2 overs gone.
Brilliant start to Izzy Wong's T20 career. Bowled a fantastic over there. It was good to see, bowling with some high pace as well. 72, 73 miles per hour. A little bit too quick for Sune Elise, that last ball. She got a thick leading edge. Just falls short of Nat Sivera extra cover.
And this for me is the extra thing Izzy Wong brings to that attack. As a batter, if you know there's a bowler with extra pace coming at you, yes, the ball can fly off it quicker, but if she bowls good areas, it's hard to get away, and it adds that fear element. But no surprise, it's Catherine Brunt to continue to Bosch. She bowls, and that's turned into the leg side. That's a good shot. That'll race away for 4, and the first boundary for South Africa. Bosch will move to 6, and the score's 6 for 1.
2 straight there from Catherine Brunt, who shouts at herself, can't believe you just bowled that. And just got a mid-wicket, no deep square leg, just 2 straight, and Bosch able to lean on the ball through the offside for 4 runs. And the first shot today has been positive from South Africa.
Well, The wicket of Lara Goodall, that was a very positive shot. That would have gone over the stands, but
Wrong
she just
ball.
missed it. Catherine Brunt then. What will her reply be to Bosch? She bowls, and that's turned into the leg side again. Sarah Glenn coming round, and we'll keep it to a single. Bosch to 7, and the score 7-1. Tell you what's good to see down here, Alex. Kate Cross, obviously not playing today, not selected to play, but she stood there with Izzy Wong having a conversation.
Probably saying, well bowled, mate.
She looks like she's giving some advice, you know. What Izzy Wong's running.
Wong to cross, you mean?
Wong to
This
cross.
is how you get in the T20 side, mate.
Catherine Brunt into loose, and that's driven up to mid-on. Will be no run. That's fielded by Sophie Eccleston at mid-on. Good to see her back in the side, rested in the third ODI.
First time she's ever been rested. She can't have been happy about that either. She can't have been.
As a spinner, being rested, surely you got to ask to be rested as a spinner.
Well, who knows? She's played a lot of international cricket in a short space of time.
But she wants to play more, that's for sure. She's hungry as Brunt in again. That's bowler! Off stump this time. And Sune Luce's poor series over here in England continues. She's gone for a 5-ball duck, and the score's 7-2.
Well, the first ball there that Sune Lease tried to score off, tried to play an off drive into the offside, completely misses the ball, and Catherine Brunt, she's been sat on the bench for the last 2 ODIs. Welcome back to international cricket. Catherine Brunt doing what she does best, and that's 100 wickets for Catherine Brunt in her international T20 career. And what a way to get it. The off cutter off the pitch, drags back in, and Sune Lease completely misses it.
Tell you what, Alex, that's a very good delivery. To have the confidence to roll her fingers over the ball early on. Sune Luce can do nothing about it. But in comes Laura Wolvart, which
Should have
leads
been
you the
there.
question, should she have been at number 1, Alex?
Well, of course she should. Of course she should. I think if you open the batting in franchise cricket as an overseas, you are one of the best batters in the world.
It's a defensive move, isn't it, from South Africa to try and bolster that mid-order, or potentially because Caps had to go home, she probably would have played.
Catherine Brunt's best figures are 3 for 6. That's unbelievable in international cricket.
She could be on for better here, Alex. Anyway, Brunt into Wolvart, and that's a leading edge into the onside. They're running the first one hard, but Sarah Glenn comes in and keeps it to the single. Wolvart off the mark with her first delivery.
I'm going to have to stand up because I can't see a thing sat down. I sat on top of the chair. It's not the most comfiest thing. Sat on a metal pole.
Luckily, it's slightly cooler today though, Alex.
Oh, yeah. It's got to the stage now where I actually think I might need a jumper.
Really?
Yeah. Ask me a week ago, I'd have had my bikini on.
Catherine Brunt into Bosch, and that's hit in the air. That's gone straight down the ground, and it beats a diving mid-on, and that'll be 4 runs. Good shot again from Bosch. 2 boundaries this over for her. She moves to 11, 12 for 2 South Africa, and that's 3 overs gone.
Not the best bit of fielding that from Sophie Eccleston, who doesn't put in the best dive at mid-on. Catherine Brunt not happy with her fielder's effort there. She's not really the sort of bowler that you want to misfield off, because she won't look at you then for the next few overs, and she'll be ranting into her cap. But she's thrown her cap on the floor.
I can tell you that for sure. Playing with her last year at the Trent Rockets, when she bowled, was eye focused, and when a ball came to me, you had to make sure you got everything behind it, stop the ball, otherwise I felt like I was going to be in a lot of trouble.
But do you not find that almost makes you worse? So for me, because you're so tentative and you're so scared of making mistakes, you then make more mistakes.
Well, Izzy Wong into Wolvart, and that's down the leg side, taken well by Jones. Umpire signals wide, the first extra of today, 13 for 2. Do you know what, I think it does, but there's no way when Catherine Brunt's running in that you can get that fear out of your head.
I'd be like, don't miss it off Catherine, miss it off Anya. If you're going to miss it for anyone, miss it off Shrubsole.
Do you know what though, playing with Anya Shrubsole as well this year, or seeing her play, you don't want to misfield it off her bowling as well. Basically just don't misfield it and you'll be fine. There's Wong into Wolvart, shorter, and that's played into the offside. Be no run. England certainly will be targeting Wolvart's stumps. I'm not going to want to give her any width. She's very strong through that offside. It's just a ring field. Deep third man, a slip. A deep long leg, mid-wicket and mid-on. As Nat Sivers warming up at extra cover. Probably see a change of bowling from the far end from our commentary box as Wong in bowled. That's an inside edge onto pad. Half appeal. But Izzy Wong walks back to the mark and she walks back to the umpire and says inside edge.
It's definitely an inside edge there. A huge one. Could hear it through the effects mic.
She's charging in, Alex.
She is indeed. It's good to see. It's good to see that she can run in and be fearless and just look to bowl fast. Yes, she might bowl a bad ball. She hasn't really yet, apart from that wide down the leg side. She's been brilliant.
Wong into Wolvart again. That's driven but fielded at extra cover by Nat Siver. Again, not cleanly. It's still a dot ball, 13 for 2.
Although Wolfart's only 1 of 4 deliveries, she's already looking more positive than Goodall and Lees at the crease, which for me is making me question why she is batting at 4, because it just doesn't make any sense. She hits the ball so much cleaner, so much harder.
Izzy Wong running in from the inner circle as she bowls. Short delivery pulled, and that will race away. She doesn't get hold of it. It goes over the squares here at Essex, and it is 4 runs to Laura Wolvart. Her first boundary. She moves to 5, 17 for 2.
Not a bad delivery that from Izzy Wong at all. It might have been slightly too straight, meaning Wolfart can play that pull shot, but it's come off the top half of her cricket bat. She hasn't got hold of it at all. It was in the air for a moment. Mid-wicket might have been close to catching that.
What will her reply be then? Izzy Wong in again, bowls. Quicker delivery, that's played through the covers. Great diving stop from Nat Siver. That would have been a boundary for sure. But she gets a hand to it and it's just a single. Wolvart to 6, 18 for 2. But exactly what you're saying there, and she's not playing any reckless shots, which is what the other batters were trying to do, especially Laura Goodall. Big heave across the line. These are proper cricket shots that she's hitting well.
Yeah, she got a good ball from Brunt, but other than that, jagged back in, sorry. But other than that, like, Wolfart's hitting the ball so hard. She's hit that through Nat Siver.
Wong in, that's driven down the ground. Will be fielded at mid-off from good shot though for Bosch. That positivity that Laura Wolvart brings as well is probably going to rub off on Bosch. But 18 for 2, 4 overs gone.
Yeah, hopefully they'll not learn from their mistakes. It's not necessarily a mistake because Bosch is still there, but Goodall with an almighty heave across the line. You have to be positive in T20 cricket, but there's a fine line of being reckless. There's reckless that from Goodall. Sune Lee's got a brilliant ball from Catherine Brunt, and her torrid time sort of carries on here in England.
When cricket's not going your way, it doesn't go your way, that's for sure, and it's certainly not for Sune Luce. But Nat Siver into the attack then bowls, and Wolvart drives that up to mid-off. It'll be a dot ball. Bryony Smith into the game there at mid-off into the T20 side. Excited about seeing her later with the bat, Alex?
Yeah, I like the fact that they've gone a bit rogue with this team. Looking at the, some new faces for this series in the Commonwealth Games. Bryony Smith, an explosive batter at the top of the order.
Nat Siver then scurrying in to Wolvart, and that's played back to her. Misfield again, not into her hands cleanly today. And I imagine we'll see, obviously Alice Capsey, Freya Kemp, 2 young players that aren't playing. I imagine we'll see them in this South Africa series before the Commonwealths to see what they can deliver as Siver in again bowls, and that's hit up in the air, but that's over extra cover. Bryony Smith is chasing after it. She should get there and prevent the boundary. Yes, she does. She does well. And they think about a third, but they settle for 2. And Wolvart moves to 8. They score 20 for 2.
That must be one of the first balls she's had to chase in international cricket since 2018. Welcome back, Bri.
She won't mind that, will she?
No.
Get her in the game. Get her in the game. Touch the ball. The Siver into Wolvart, and that's driven, and it finds extra cover again. Heather Knight shies at the stumps, backed up by Catherine Brunt at mid-wicket. Good aggression from England, and I think from the selections in this T20 side we can expect aggression, we can expect them to go hard. with the young, powerful batters they have in the side, the pace of Izzy Wong.
Yes, it.
Change of field, cover's gone. Back to the boundary and third man. Comes into the circle. There's Siva into Wolvart. That's turned away onto the leg side. She's hit the middle of her bat again, and that's 4 runs to Wolvart. She moves to 12. 24 for 2 South Africa.
Not the prettiest of shots from Wolfart. We're used to seeing those classical cover drives. She times those so well. This time the ball just slightly too straight from Nat Siva. She heaves it into the leg side for 4. And South Africa will take that. They need to up this run rate if they are going to get towards that 150 mark.
Just 7 balls remain of the power play, where only 2 fielders are allowed outside the circle. Siva in, and that's cut away out to deep cover. Maya Boucher has to come round. She does well, and they come back for a couple. Good running from South Africa. That was hit hard again by Laura Wolvart. She moves to 14 off 12. 26 for 2. 5 overs gone, and we have a change in the commentary position. Dan Norcross will be joining you, Alex.
Well, it looks like Wolfart's looked to target Nat Siva there. And there's no surprise when you're looking at who you can target and who you can't. You don't really want to be targeting Catherine Brunt, do you? One of the best all-time bowlers for England. Picked up her 100th wicket in T20, so congratulations to her. But each individual player will have a bowler that they target. You can't target Sophie Eccleston. She is the best bowler in the world, so who are you going to try and take down?
Tricky, isn't it? I think she has become the 5th woman, Catherine Brunt, to make it to 100 wickets in T20 internationals. Behind, 6th, I beg your pardon, behind Anisa Mohammed, Elise Perry, Shabnim Ismail, Nida Dar, and our very own Anya Shopsol. She's 2 wickets behind Anya. Anya finished on 102. She might get him in this match. What a perplexing and strange game it's already been. But you summed that up very well, Alex. I will come back to it in a moment as Sophie Eccleston starts her first over, the last of the power play. And that's driven by Bosch down to Brunt at mid-on. There's no run. We thought it was kind of crazy that they'd open with Lara Goodall and put in Sunelise at 3. And it seemed crazy, and it turned out to be crazy.
I just think Wolfart has a presence at the crease, and that's what you want in T20 cricket.
Bosch on strike. Eccleston into her. It's a little bit short. She goes back into a crease and pushes off the back foot up to mid-off. And there is no run. Wong does the fielding. We've got 4 in the ring on the offside, 3 on the leg side. So backward point, extra cover mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket and a short fine leg as Eccleston is in again. Flat and played off the back foot out towards the sweeper on the deep extra cover boundary. Who's a distinctive figure, Sophia Dunkley.
It's quick that from Eccleston.
What?
I was trying to look at how fast it was, but that was, I reckon, the quickest delivery I've seen from her.
The speed doesn't come up yet. It did. It felt whippy and flat, didn't it? Right, she's into Wolfart this time. The field hasn't changed. There's a deep square leg out as well as the other sweeper. That's clipped into the onside. Siva moves to her right to field at mid-wicket, and there is no run. We've got a wonderful crowd in today at Chelmsford. Often do at Fortress Chelmsford, where England have a terrific record, but most of the stands are pretty much full.
It's not the Fortress anymore though, Dan.
No.
They lost to Australia.
Eccleston in, driven up and over. Mid-off for 4. A wonderful shot from Wolfart. Use of the feet, got to the pitch of the ball, and it just becomes more baffling. Why wasn't she opening? In the end, I don't think it makes a lot of material difference to South Africa because they lost those 2 wickets quickly. That brought Wolfart to the crease, but this is a wonderful shot. Just a little shimmy, 2 steps down, got to the pitch of the ball, hit it over mid-off for 4. Last ball of the over is another flat one that comes on with the arm, played into the covers. There is no run, so at the end of the power play, 6 overs down, 31 for 2. Bosch, Hanneke Bosch has 12, Laura Wolfart has 18 from 15, but it's just the crispness of her timing, isn't it, that's been really impressive.
I like the fact that she's used her feet to take on Sophie Eccleston there, because you don't want to let a bowler like Eccleston settle early, especially in T20 cricket. So to try and put a bit of extra pressure on her, it's good batting from Wolfart, and she has hit the ball extremely cleanly this evening. And I'm going to start the petition, get Wolfart at the top of the order, get her back opening.
Well, and also let's just never talk about Catherine Brunt's retirement again. The ball she got Lara Goodall at was absolutely brilliant. The previous ball had gone across her, and be given out erroneously caught behind. It's very close to the outside edge. The next one
took away the glamour of the fact that she'd been given out the ball before.
Did a bit, but it was almost like, no, I'm having her. She's getting out, like it or not. So, Sarah Glenn is into the attack from the Hayes close end. Into Bosch, who has a Bosch at this, does a swing, goes to short, fine leg. They've gone for a quick run, throw comes in at the non-striker's end, but after a little bit of hesitation, Bosch is home, and they get a single. 31 for 2.
First time we've seen Sarah Glenn back in an England shirt since the Ashes, all the way back in January. I've not seen a bowl since, and she's shortened her run up by quite a way. She's just coming off a couple of steps now, is Sarah Glenn.
Yeah. It is, isn't it? It's, it's a bit like Shane Ward used to do. Just off 1, 2, 3, 4. She's in. And tosses this up. It's been driven without real timing by Wolfhard out into the covers, where it is fielded running in from the boundary by the mighty Bouche, Maya Bouchier.
Elvis is telling me she now doesn't jump. I don't recall her jumping in the first place, but she doesn't do it anymore.
She doesn't. It just sort of glides in, and then you're done. Shorter, flatter, and that's cut at and missed by Bosch. Goes through to Amy Jones, and there's no run. That was perilously close to the outside edge. I don't think it's that far away. It's about a stump away from off stump. Next delivery is flatter and cut out through deep backward point. Bouchier's going to make a lot of ground to her left. She gets there and fires a throw in keeper's end on the bounce to come back for a couple. 34 for 2.
This makes me very excited, Dan.
Oh yes.
Because Sarah Glenn has just turned a cricket ball.
Oh.
So she bowls these leg breaks, but she's bowled most of the time straight breaks, and her third ball there has turned quite sharply off the pitch. So I'm all for this new run up if she's going to keep turning the cricket ball.
You like Glenn 2.0?
Yes.
She's in again. That's a little bit short. Slapped back past her down towards long on, but it'll only be a single. There is a fielder out there patrolling the boundary. 34 for 2, 35 for 2. It's quite a complicated ground with scoreboards here. They don't always necessarily agree with each other. One's gone up to 36, for example. There's one over here that says 34.
We'll go in the middle.
Yeah. Glenn in again. This is tossed up. It's full and driven out to Bouchier at deep point. Again, she throws in on the bounce. And I think that's probably the end of the over. 37 for 2, 7 overs gone. Wolfhard has 20 from 17. Bosch 16 from 17. So after losing those 2 early wickets, both to Catherine Brunt, Lara Goodall and Captain Suna Lees, South Africa just getting things back together. Alex Hartley's taking a break. Georgia Elvis is joining us.
Hello.
Are you happy to sit, or do you feel the need to perch on the top of the
I
chair?
can sit because I've got a really long torso.
You do have a long torso.
Yeah, I'm
almost
taller than me. Yeah. It's strange, isn't it? I always bang my head on the roof of a car when I sit in. Cause,
is that right?
Nightmare.
So you can't really get a sports car, can you?
No.
No, you need a sort of Range Rover or something. I mean, other giant cars are available.
That'd be great.
Right, Bryony Smith is coming in to bowl. She's replacing Sophie Eccleston, so we've had quite a few little bowling changes here. She's in a couple of paces and it's hit on the full, straight back past her. Catherine Bunn has to move to her left to field at long on. There'll only be the single, so throw comes in. This is intriguing. So we've seen 6 bowlers already, haven't we? Because Siva bowled. I think we've had a bowling change for each of the last 4 overs now. Testing out all the spinners in turn. Smith in again. It's a little bit shorter. Turns into Bosch, who clips it away out to deep mid-wicket. Danny Wyatt was the fielding. There's one more to the total. 39 for 2.
Yeah, Heather Knight loves a 1 over spell, doesn't she? It's always keeping you on your toes. You never know when you might be needed.
Smith into Wolfhard. Wolfhard drives, but straight back to the bowler. There's no run. What have we got in the way of a field? Well, there's a backward point, extra cover mid-off, and a deep extra cover sweeping. Short fine leg, mid-wicket long on, 2 back deep on the leg side as Smith is in, tossed up again, driven firmly again. It won't beat Wong mid-off, but they will get through for a single. She's then thrown the stumps down, but Wolfhard was well home. And she's right on the edge of that circle, even though it was hit firmly. She had a bit of ground to move to her right, which she did expertly. She did the rolling James Bond. Well, it's actually more like Steve Coogan doing James Bond, but full, pushed into the offside, straight to Heather Knight at short extra cover, no run. It's been a good over so far from Bryony Smith.
Yeah, very tidy. She's bowling a lot slower than I remember, actually.
She's in now. This is tossed up again and driven firmly down the ground, but Brunt will field comfortably on a straight long-on boundary. End of the over, just the 4 from it. 41 for 2 South Africa after 8 overs. Bosch has 18. Wolfhard has 22. There is batting to come, plenty of it. We've got Mignon du Preez and Chloe Tryon still to come. Probably said Chloe Tryon, the most aggressive of South Africa's players. I just think, you know, they have played so far this series against England in such a timorous way, Georgia, that they just need to shake it up. They need, I hate to say it, they need a bit of baseball.
Well, I think that was meant to be the plan, wasn't it? They've sent Bosch in to give it a Bosch, but at the minute she's not doing it.
Glenn is in, and Bosch bowled! Goes back into his stumps, tries to cut it to the offside, and it didn't turn, it just came on with the arm, and it scuttled through a little low. Bosch giving herself that room, couldn't reach the ball, and it's thudded into off stump. And South Africa lose their 3rd wicket. They are 41 for 3.
Yeah, it had been coming, hadn't it? The previous over, Bosch had tried to cut Sarah Glenn a little bit wider. That one just didn't bounce as much as perhaps she thought it would. Stayed a little bit low on her, but still. Sarah Glenn, she's not a bowler that you cut off the stumps because she skids it on, and that has been the downfall for Annika Bosch.
But a slidery one, wasn't it? I mean, it was a faint amount of break from leg to off, but barely. It really sort of pitched on middle and off, and it hit off. It was really more like sliding on with the arm. And as you say, I mean, to try and cut that, it's perilous.
Yeah, it's not a particularly safe shot. We've seen some of the balls from Sarah Glenn turn, as Alex Hartley was telling us, and the odd ball keep low on this pitch as well, which is quite unusual for Chelmsford, isn't it? That
yeah.
The absolute belters. So
it looks like a good pitch from here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a nice covering on it. It's good colour. The outfield is lightning quick. So Mignon du Preez is back in the side, and she's facing up now. Glenn brings her forward, she pushes off the front foot back to the bowler, and there's no run. South Africa are in real bother here. They don't know whether they're to stick or twist, I would think. So we just see the replay of that ball. It really did scuttle. Glenn in again. Du Preez goes back and gets an under edge, and she could have chopped onto her stumps. She got away with it as Izzy Wong moves to her left to field at point. Again, there's no run. 41 for 3. Glenda? is that the nickname? Forward comes Du Preez. Pushes back at the wicket. No run. Is it Glennie or Glenda?
No, it's both. Glenda is a bit of a change-up. Yeah, she looks like a Glenda, doesn't she?
She does actually. What was the name of the kindly witch? I think that was Glinda, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
Wicked witch of the whatever's. Du Preez works a very full delivery all the way up to long on, where Catherine Brunt is fielding. Catherine Brunt, at 37 years of age, is going long on to long on at the moment.
Well, she's had a rest, hasn't she? This ODI series. She put her feet up. She hasn't done much this summer.
She didn't play a test. She played one ODI. That's it. Tossed up again and driven with a horizontal bat by Wolfhard out towards deep backward point. She wants a second. The throw's coming in. This could be tight. It's a little wayward, the throw from Bouchier. So Wolfhard's able to get back, and that completes a good over from Glenn. She picked up the wicket. 2 overs, 1 for 9. South Africa 44 for 3. 9 overs gone. We're getting close to the halfway stage. And England, Georgia Elvis, are very much on top here.
Yeah, they are. They've bowled really well, I think. Heather Knight's mixed up her bowl as well. We've seen short and sharp spells, and we're into this middle order of South Africa, which hasn't fired for them so far this series. And I just wonder how much cricket Mignon du Preez has played over the last few months, really. Retired from international cricket and ODIs and test matches, and has been playing a little bit of franchise cricket around the world, but I think her last cricket probably would have only come in May, so she's been a while without some competitive matches, and I wonder how she'll take to coming in this sort of situation and trying to get the scoring rate going along quickly.
Well, now Sivers back into the attack from the river end, so Bryony Smith bowled just the 1 over. It's all change, lots of changes so far in this innings, with a long leg, a deep square leg, mid-wicket, mid-on, or on the onside. Du Preez on strike, but full toss, and it's driven aerially, half stopped by Izzy Wong at mid-off, but they're going to get back for a couple. That nearly went to Nat Sivers' left hand. She couldn't quite get a hand to it, and Wong had to stretch at mid-off to her right to prevent the boundary, and she's kept it to 2. One hand came off the bat. Sivers didn't put in much of a dive, got to say. It wasn't too far from her. It was hit back crisply, I think, in her defence. Yeah, it did go very quickly. Siver in again. That's short and pulled without timing out towards deep square leg, where White will do the fielding. One more to the total. 47 for 3.
It's got that crisp sound off the bat, hasn't it, tonight? It sounds nice.
It does.
It's a very fulfilling sound. I think. No, I'm not surprised Natsiva tries to get a hand out of the way of that.
Actually went sort of through her fingers almost. She's in now to Wolfhard, who on drives, but straight to mid-on. And there is no run as Eccleston does the fielding. On the offside, we've got a deep third, backward point, extra cover mid-off. And a sweeper on the offside boundary, the sort of extra cover, really. So all 4 boundary riders are out. Siver in, give herself some room as Wolfhard, she crashes it, through Wong at mid-off for 4. That will annoy both Siver and Wong, because she didn't have too much ground to make to her right to pull off that stop, and she got to it and the ball just rolled underneath her. That was the fielding of an opening bowler.
Yeah, and she'd been doing so well there, because the ball had been absolutely whacked at her, but that's a poor bit of fielding. It's just gone straight through her legs.
She's overrun it, hasn't she, actually? She's gone a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Put the hands down, the ball's gone to her left. She'd gone to the right to try and stop it, and it had just gone past her on the inside. Siver into Wolfhard, slower ball, pulled out towards deep square leg. White runs in from the boundary to field, 52 for 3, 1 ball left in the 10th. Virtually at the halfway stage. And England's bowling has been tight. There's been not much in the way of loose deliveries for the South Africans, and they've lost those wickets as well, which puts a bit of pressure on the middle order. Dupree on strike to Siver. His drives in the air to Wong, should take the catch, and she does! Mignon Dupree has to go. And England have a 4th wicket. It's Nat Siver in tandem with Izzy Wong taking a catch at mid-off. It was an attempt to get the ball up and over the infield, but she just didn't get enough on it. It skewed and a gentle parabola into the hands of Izzy Wong, who made no mistake on this occasion. And South Africa, Georgia Elwys are teetering. They're 52 for 4. We're at the halfway stage. Thoughts on what we've seen so far, and then to take you through the next 5 overs, it'll be Emily Winter.
Yeah, I'm just having a little chuckle because I think the relief on Izzy Wong's face there. She just pouched that catch. She's made up for the misfield in the over. And yeah, that is a big wicket. Mignon Dupree, we know what she can do. We've seen her a lot in the KSL, in the 100 over in this country, and then internationally for her country. So big wicket, and Izzy Wong will feel a bit better about that she's repaid her debt to Nat Siver.
Absolutely, and one thing's for certain, South Africa are in a lot of bother. And yet again, Laura Wolvar is under pressure. She's the only batter there that's holding her hand up.
Thank you.
And it's, as a player, Chloe Tryon's joined her, and she's not to be underestimated with the bat. She's had a good series, but it must change the way Wolvar plays as much as because of what's going on at the other end.
I think it has to, yeah. And you know, she looks completely unfazed. She's obviously in good form at the moment, but there must be an inkling in her that thinks, I wish someone would just stick around with me.
Sarah Glenn then to continue from the Hayes close end as she bowls, and Tryon pushes into the offside and rotates the strike. She's off the mark on her first delivery. 53 for 4. She's impressed me this series though, Chloe Tryon. I think previously, as Glenn in bowls off the back foot, Wolvar plays it up to long on. Catherine Brunt will do the fielding. And I think with Tryon, she's usually, people see her as the biffer. Mm-hmm. She hits a long ball, but she's actually found a way to rotate the strike, keep the score ticking in the 50 over series as Glenn bowls and she pushes into the offside again. Exactly that, rotating the strike. 55 for 4.
No, she absolutely has. I think that's something that I was so impressed with the ODI series. She came in earlier than we're used to seeing her, and she played really mature innings. She knocked the ball about, and then she's got that big hitting power too.
Glenn in bowls off the back foot from Wolvar, playing out to the cover sweeper. Danny Wyatt does the fielding. We've had a tweet in from Hypercourse. It's the first time that England women have dismissed all of the opposition's top 3, all bowled in the same T20 innings. As Glenn in bowls and Tryon pushes into the offside again for a single. 57 for 4 South Africa. That's an interesting stat, isn't it? Is that a plan that you have as in an England side to bowl hit the stumps early on in the T20 innings?
Well, I think it certainly is. That is always the plan.
Glenn in bowls, Wolver off the back foot, playing out to the cover sweeper. Danny Wyatt comes round, she's quick but can't get there. Wolver has manipulated the field there perfectly. Danny Wyatt at deep cover can do nothing about that one, and Wolver moves to 35 off 27, 61 for 4.
Yeah, she's a good player, isn't she? She's picking up where she left off in the ODI series, and you really can't believe that South Africa have got her coming in at 4. You really think that she needs to be opening the batting and facing as many balls as possible, especially in that power play. The fact that she's coming at 4 today completely baffles me, really.
Bryony Smith coming back into the attack. Interesting seeing her with a roll with the ball as well as the bat in this T20 side. She bowls a lot in domestic cricket. Her off spin. She comes in and bowls, and that's down the leg side and left alone, so it'll be signalled a wide. 62 for 4.
I think all these players coming through now do everything, don't they? All of them are all-rounders.
I'm out. Bryony Smith into Tryon. She's hit that hard down the ground. Izzy Wong cry of catch, but it's over her head, and that's Chloe Tryon's first boundary. She moves to 7, 66 for 4.
Yeah, lovely shot there by Tryon, just giving herself a bit of room, using her feet. Just picked out that long off boundary as one that she can target, and the strength she has, she doesn't miss out on that. No chance really for Izzy Wong, gone so far, so quickly past her that she didn't have a chance of catching that.
Change of field then, square legs brought up into the circle and 4 fielders out in front of square as Bryony bowls, and she sweeps it, and he finds Glenn at fine leg, so it'll be top ball. There's a lot of crowd in here today at Essex, a mixture of young, old. It's good to see fans supporting England as Bryony Smith in bowls, and that's full and driven up to long off. So it'll be a single to Chloe Tryon. She moves to 8, 68 for 4.
Yeah, me and producer Charlotte were just having a little conversation about how nice it is to see the kids really getting into the cricket, and his dad's sat next to them teaching them, oh, this is what I did, and they just seem to be having a great time.
Smith in again, bowl, shorter delivery, she hits it into her own foot, Wolver, and it finds Maya Bouchier at mid-wicket. A dot ball, and a rare dot ball when Laura Wolvart's facing. She's the big wicket. There's Bryony Smith in again, bowl, shorter delivery and pulled into the onside. Danny Wyatt does the fielding. Wolvart to 36, 68 for 4. Danny Wyatt's getting the call from her captain Heather Knight, come back in the circle. So they change the field for Chloe Tryon. She's so strong down the ground. It's Bryony Smith into Tryon, who sweeps away into the leg side. Nat Sivert at mid-wicket does the fielding. 69 for 4 then, 12 overs gone. And on all the youngsters that are in there, we saw earlier today as well, when the fielders were coming out, there was all the young people waving their flags, and you see that now, sort of a guard of honour, enjoying themselves, enjoying what they're seeing, definitely from an England perspective, as Catherine Brunt has just run off the field, so Kate Cross has come on, hopefully not an injury, and just needs a wee break.
Probably in her old age. We'll call it that.
Sophie Eccleston coming back into the attack. This is England bowling attack, just never lets off. Just bringing a fine leg over to have 2 points. So there's no one behind square on the leg side. There's Eccleston in, and that's an appeal for LBW and given. Chloe Tryon's tried to sweep and heave it onto the onside. Laura Wolvart's running up to Chloe Tryon to have a conversation about reviewing this, and I think they're going to. Yes, they do review it just in the nick of time on the one, but one thing's for certain, Eccleston was convinced there.
Yeah, she was, and Sarah Bartlett gave that out very quickly. Laura Wolvart didn't seem to say to Chloe Tryon, I think you should review it. What am I trying to say? And Chloe Tryon leaving it to that last second shows that she thinks she's probably out as well. But it is last chance saloon for South Africa. They really need her to stay in.
We'll hear the voice of Sue Redfern, the third umpire today. And the replay, I have to say, does look very out, but you never know. You never know with this ball tracking. But the England players look confident. Chloe Tryon's got her gloves off, looking less confident. I don't actually think we're going to see the replay. We hear the ticking. The suspense is building in the crowd. Everyone looking at the big screen.
Well, here we go.
So we move on to ball tracking. Three reds then, and Chloe Tryon has to walk back to the dressing room. 69 for 5 South Africa, 12.1 overs gone, and the player Laura Wolvart again is left in the middle.
Yeah, it's clever bowling from Sophie Eccleston. Chloe Tryon was just starting to release her shots, trying to hit the ball hard, and the night turns to her best bowler, most experienced, aside from Catherine Brunt. Sounds silly saying that one of the youngest players is one of the most experienced with the ball, but Sophie Eccleston's so used to people trying to get after her. She knows where to bowl it, and there's a quite poor shot from Chloe Tryon, completely across the line, and only ever hitting middle stump halfway up. And good for Sarah Bartlett that she got a decision right today after that first one. That'll make her feel a bit better.
That was umpiring nerves, that first one.
Absolutely, I'd be the same.
So Dalmi Tucker comes to the crease for South Africa with a lot to do. And I don't know about you, Georgia. Alex?
Hang on a minute.
Sorry, Georgia, you're two very different people. But if that was me coming to the crease, all I'd want to be doing is getting Laura Wolvart back on strike. Eccleston in bowls, and that's an inside edge, and it's find its way to a vacant fine leg. She's quick between the wickets is Tucker, so they come back for a couple. She's off the mark, albeit not convincingly.
No, but you're completely right, and it actually makes her job a lot simpler because she can just try and get bat and ball, knock it into the gaps for a bit, and let Laura Wolvart do the striking.
71 for 5 the score then, as Eccleston in round the wicket, and that's swept down to square leg. Sophia Dunkley does the fielding out there. She's carded to open the batting today, Georgia. She excited for it? She's a good friend of yours.
Yeah, well, I spoke to her briefly before the game, and all she kept saying to me was, I'm so excited, I can't wait.
Eccleston in, and that's played onto her pad by Laura Wolvart. Pressure building on her, not because of the way she's playing, because the wickets are falling at the other end for South Africa. 72 for 5. Best spinner in the world, Eccleston bowling, and that's played into the leg side. Sophia Dunkley's going to have to chase after this. They'll probably come back for a couple. Yes, they do. She's going to have to hurry, and makes it comfortably. Good running from Wolvart. She moves to 38, 74 for 5.
Yeah, it is good running, and I think it's something that South Africa need to be really good at through this middle phase. Finding the boundary quite hard to come by, losing wickets. The one thing that they can keep up and control is their running between the wickets.
One ball remains for the 13th over. There's Eccleston in, and that's played into the onside. Bryony Smith comes round, so keeps it to a dot ball. That's the end of the over. 13 overs gone. 74 for 5. Wolvart there, 38 off 32. And Tucker on 3. The wickets have been shared about for England. Catherine Brunt has picked up 2. Siver's got 1. Sarah Glenn's got 1. And Eccleston, which is good to see for the England bowlers all chipping in.
Yeah, we just want one for Wong now, don't we, on debut? That would be nice.
She bowled superbly well up front, very fiery as we expect, quick. So it'd be interesting the damage she can do. Wolvart was playing her well. But to the Tucker, will she be able to deal with the pace of Izzy Wong? 4 fielders out, deep square leg, fine leg, third man and deep cover. Georgia Alwish, your teammate at Birmingham Phoenix.
Go on, give her a bumper. Go on.
Wong into Tucker bowls, that's forward in the block hole. So they don't run the single, so it's a dot ball.
I'm calling for it. Come on, Wongy, let one go.
Does she bowl many at you in the nets, Georgia?
Oh, plenty. Pretty much every ball, to be honest with you. So I don't know why she's
because she doesn't like you? Or?
She just likes to let me know that she's there. No, she's very competitive. She gives you the bumper and then she runs down and she comes and collects the ball and she's standing next to you and she's like, right, Chief.
74 for 5 then. Wong in bowls. There's that bumper and that's played very well by Tucker. Guiding it down to third man for a single. Gets Wolvart back on strike.
And it was played well actually, wasn't it? Just rocked back and played that. Didn't seem to have the pace in it that the fuller deliveries have had. So, but I like that she's tried it. I think that's what you get with Izzy Wong, isn't it? You just get that fieriness, that feistiness.
Heather Knight just having a conversation with the umpire, not sure what that's about. But Izzy Wong has the ball back in her hand. And we bowling to Wolvart. She bowls. That's hit her on the pad and turned into a vacant third man. They come through for a single. Be interesting if this is signalled leg byes. Yes, it is. So not off the bat of Wolvart. That one got through. And Rush Wolvart for pace. 76 for 5. Izzy Wong. Long run up for a pace bowler. On the edge of the 30-yard circle. Izzy Wong charging in again from the River End bowls, and that's pushed into the offside. The answer's no when Danny Wyatt's fielding the ball. One of England's best fielders. Southern Vipers' best fielders as well. Our teammate. Won't be hitting a run to her, will you, Georgia?
No, absolutely not. She's so quick to the ball, and she's got a lightning arm as well. She's got the knack of really hitting the stumps. Well, at that point, you've only got one stump to aim at. She's so good at finding that stump, and I'm slow anyway, so I wouldn't take her on.
25 on her back. Wong in bowls. That's hit her on the pad. Tucker trying to work it into the onside. Will be a dot ball. England in their fluorescent red tops, navy blue bottoms. South Africa in their bright yellow and bright green trousers. But the red certainly standing out more when the score's 76 for 5. Do you like the new kits, Georgia?
Yeah, I think they're really smart. They're really smart, and they always look better on, don't they? I mean, you see them online and whatever, yeah, on a hanger. But when they're on, they look really smart.
Wong in again, bowl short ball pulled this time by Tucker into the onside for a single. Tucker moves to 5. 77 for 5 the score, and we'll have a change in the commentary box. Alex Hartley will be back to give some more thoughts as the crowd will enjoy the T20 Classic, as does our producer Charlotte Swift at the back.
I don't know that song.
You've never heard of it?
What is it?
Alex Hartley.
Go on, give us a little
Surely not.
Remedition.
I can't sing because I would kill it, but you know this song. Surely.
Never heard it.
Wow. We learn something new about Alex Hartley every day.
Is it old?
I think it's old.
There you go then. In my prime, I'm only 28.
That's it.
Take 2 years off for COVID, I'm 26.
That's it. Back into the attack. Rolls to Tucker, and that's worked to mid-wicket. They think about a quick single. They won't get it with Bryony Smith quick to the ball. South Africa in a lot of trouble here, Alex.
They are indeed, and we felt like that would happen as well with the peculiar batting lineup that they went with today. I've been quite impressed with Tucker actually. She looks looking to play her shots.
Catherine Brunt just talking to Nat Siver at the top of her mark. I wonder if it's about what's for dinner tonight as Siver bowls. That's hit to Catherine Brunt. One bounce in and she fires it at the stumps. I'm not sure it'll be a happy dinner tonight after that. 78 for 5, and it was a single.
think Catherine Brunt there thought Tucker got hold of it, so she's just hanging back on the ring and stayed back on the ring, and then realised at the very last minute that it was just going to drop short and didn't throw the ball in.
Siver in, Wolvart gives her room, and that's pulled into the onside. Slower ball by Siver. Wolvart comes through for a single. She moves to 39, 79 for 5.
You'd rather something like that happen that way round to the Siver Brunts than Siver miss one off Catherine, because then that would be a nightmare.
Maybe Siver's a dark horse though. Maybe over dinner she'll let her know. Maybe she doesn't feed her. Siver into Tucker. Short ball, she's tried to ramp it. Great take by Amy Jones. It's a dot ball.
I love that from Tucker. The bouncer from Nat Siver, and she's tried to play the ramp hook shot behind the keeper. Doesn't quite manage to get hold of it. And it's a brilliant take from Amy Jones behind the stumps to save the boundary.
Tell you what, Tucker's played the short ball well. She doesn't seem phased by it. She looks like she's got time. The Siver in bowl, slower ball, and that's played back down the pitch. That's a great delivery from Nat Siver.
Just picking the right balls here for Tucker. Which ones does she go after? Which ones can she nurdle around? Love to see Tucker tuck one into the leg side for one.
Enough said. That's why you're not in the commentary seat there, Alex. Siver in to Tucker, and she's gone to paddle it again. I'm not sure if she's got hold of this or not. We'll see from the umpire. And that's a rare buy from Amy Jones. That's 15 overs gone, 80 for 5 the score. And you'll have a few more words from Alex Hartley, and you'll be joined by Dan Norcross to see South Africa home.
Well, as you say, South Africa are in a lot of trouble. If they go at 10 and over here, as I do the quick maths, they get up to 130. They don't look like going at 10 and over. Minimum they'll be targeting is 120, but as we said earlier, 150 is probably about par on a wicket like this and against this really strong England side.
Yeah, they feel a long way below par at the moment. It could have been even worse if Catherine Brunt had been as alert as she'd judged that chance that was proffered in the previous over. So it's going to be Eccleston who keeps on switching ends. She's got 2 overs left to bowl. This is the start of her third. That's gone down the leg side. Wide has been signalled. And they're going to get a run for it as well, because Jones standing up to stumps couldn't save it. So that's a bonus 2. Takes them to 82 for 5.
Yes, please. Yes, sir.
I think this could be the first time in 2 weeks, Dan, that I've been cold.
Yeah, you're presenting as cold, which is a bit alarming.
Yeah.
I can see goosebumps and all sorts.
I need to put some more clothes on.
You are shoddily dressed, yes. This is clipped to square leg, and there's no run. Maya Bouchier does the fielding.
Quicker ball from Sophie Eccleston there, nearly 60 miles per hour.
60?
That's almost what Kate Cross bowls as a seamer. She bowls about 64, 65.
Eccleston in again. Wolfhart goes for the sweep and gets it straight to Bouchier, who's got very good hands there at square leg. She's not going to let that get past her.
2 in a row there for Maya Bouchier, and square leg in the ring is one of the worst fielding positions because the ball gets hit at you so hard you can't really read it off the bat.
Next delivery is driven back to Eccleston. That's her third dot ball in a row after those couple of wides at the start.
I feel like something has to give here for South Africa. They need a boundary.
Wolfhart's got to go over the top, you'd imagine. She's going to use her feet. She comes down the wicket, but she rather shanks that along the ground up to long off for a single, which brings Tucker, the pheasant plucker's daughter, to the crease. That's on 6. You've got to be careful with Tucker.
You've got to be really careful.
Eccleston left arm round bowls. That's swept in the air out towards Bouchier. He's been sent out to the deep backward square boundary. And they just get a single. 84 for 5. The score advances to
Eccleston making sure Maya Bouchier comes into the ring for Wolfhart, and long off goes out. She's so strong through the offside, is Wolfhart.
last ball of the over. Eccleston into Wolfhart. She gives herself some room and she drives it firmly, but that's gone straight down to long off, where Wong does the fielding. One more to the total. So what's it off that over? 5 off that over, and with 4 overs left now, 85 for 5. You do your 10s now, it's only 125. They're going nowhere really here, South Africa. Wolfhart 41 from 39. Tucker has 7. What have you noticed?
Just noticed a young lad in the crowd with a Eccleston flag.
Quite right.
Sophie Eccleston on an England flag. Love that.
I do. I remember the first time this phenomenon really came home to me was, I think, There was a great partnership between Nat Siver and Lydia Greenway in a game. I want to say it was at Worcester, but it might not have been Worcester. And there were a couple of lads, they'd only been about 9 or 10, and they were absolutely enthralled by it. They wouldn't move. And since then, the game's just got bigger and bigger. And these are well-known names. I was at a 100 game last year, and when Eccleston came out to bat, the crowd just went in raptures.
I do love that during the 100 when somebody comes on to bowl. It was normally Eccleston and Cross for the Manchester Originals, and the crowd just know who they are straight away, and they got the biggest cheer. And when I come on to bowl, it's like, wee. I'm like, oh,
Hartley, that's not fair.
Sad that, isn't it?
Let's start a movement to make sure that there are more cheers for Hartley when she comes on the bowl.
There'll be a lot of cheers when it's Hartley versus Cross in the 100, I'll tell you that for free.
I look forward to that. Wong starts a new over on the Hayes close end, and that's just smashed out towards the offside where Maya Bouchier is patrolling on the boundary. One more to Wolfhard. It was a little wide, pretty rapid, but Wong's, she's only gone for 10 runs. She's in her 4th over now, and Wolfhard's come to have a chat with Tucker. I don't quite know what she says. Swing.
It's quick.
It's quick. Fling the bat. There's a deep third, Bryony Smith, for exactly that purpose.
And that fine leg's just come slightly finer for the ramp shot that she keeps threatening to play.
Yes, Jones is definitely not standing up to Wong. Wong in full down the leg side, wide. It's quite close to the pads, but still, correct decision. Out. We've got a deep square leg. Mid on and mid off are up inside the circle. We've got a deep cover. And that deep third and deep fine leg. 3 in the ring on the offside, 2 on the leg side. Tucker on strike. For people of a certain vintage, it's very difficult not to think of the great Todd Carty when you see the name Tucker. As Wong is in, that's sort of smeared horribly out towards deep backward square leg. They run the first quite quickly, but Wolfhart's happy to stick to 1 and keep the strike. 88 for 5.
I feel like Wolfhard has to face the majority of these balls that are left in this game to get South Africa up to a decent score or a competitive score.
She's batting well, but she's not really got... It's not been explosive from her. England to bowl really well at her. They know exactly where her strengths are. 42 off 40 she's got as Wong comes in to her. A slower ball, which she kind of agriculturally smears out towards deep mid-wicket. They should get back for a second here. The throw's coming in, though. It could be tight. But no, Tucker is home. And they get a couple of runs. 90 for 5. Wolfhard to 44.
Good slower ball that from Izzy Wong that's deceived Laura Wolfhard in the air, and a brilliant bit of fielding from Nat Siver in the deep.
You often don't see her all the way out there, do you? Sort of expect her in the infield.
She is so good everywhere she fields.
Wong into Wolfhard, short, and that's pulled down through deep backward square leg. This could go all the way. It does, all the way along the ground for a much needed boundary from Laura Wolfhard. And you will no doubt be able to see that boundary if you go to the iPlayer tomorrow. Highlights at 7 o'clock in the morning, as well as in-play clips throughout this game on the BBC Sport website and app.
South Africa needed that boundary.
Yes, they really did. It's been quite... It's been sort of predictably a bit lacklustre from them. So, I mean, you've got to give credit to England's bowlers, haven't you?
Fine legs come up inside the ring, so this should be a slower ball from Izzy Wong.
Wong in, and it is a slower ball. It's a very much slower ball, and it hits the stumps at the non-striker's end, but Wong didn't get a hand on it as he was driven back past her. She tried to get a little finger on it, but she couldn't quite get to it. That was good from you,
It's almost like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to cricket.
I mean, it's a great super skill to have, knowing exactly what's going to happen.
Do you want to know what's going to happen this ball?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, pressure's on now. A slower ball, wicket.
Slower ball, wicket, okay. Here's Wong, runs in and delivers I wouldn't call that a slower ball, full. On about Midland leg, driven up to long on for a single. It's like the block hole. 3 overs to go. South Africa languishing somewhat. They're 95 for 5, but Wolfhart's still there. She has 49. Tucker has 8. And they've just got to get what they can in these last 3 overs. Who's left to bowl? Because Wong's now bowled out. 4 overs done for 19. There's an over from Eccleston. Got 1 from Brunt left.
Yep, Brunt's got 1, Siver, and then Bryony Smith. So there's options. So I think we'll go Brunt now. Eccleston normally bowls the 19th.
And then
Siver 20th.
Siver 20th, yeah. And for those of you who are fans of the cut-off time, England are well inside it. 15 minutes to go until they have to start that last over. And there's only 3 overs left to go. So Brunt, who picked up 2 wickets at the start of this innings, one with an absolute beauty to get rid of Goodall. She'd done it with the away swinger, at least the one that left Goodall, and then the one that got her out just swung back in, clipped the top of off stump as Goodall was trying to smack it through the onside and missed it completely. Brunt starts a new over. She's into Wolfhart, bat raised, and Wolfhart drags this out to deep square leg where Bouchier does the fielding again, and that is 50 for Laura Wolfhart. 50 from 45 balls. She's kept this innings together. She's coming in an unfamiliar position today at number 4. She raised a few eyebrows.
And we will keep going on about it because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
She scored more than half the runs.
Exactly, she wasn't even opening. 6 fours in that, 45 ball 50 from Wolfhart. Now Tucker's back on strike with Eccleston and Wong up inside the ring. Well, no, now Eccleston's been sent back to long on. We've got a deep mid-wicket, the deep square leg and a long leg, and then 5 in the ring on the offside. Brunt into Tucker. Tucker drives and okay, caught by Dunkley at short extra cover. She didn't get anything on that. Brunt picks up her 3rd wicket. Tucker has to go for 8 from 15 balls. She's trying to go up and over the infield because there's nobody on the boundary on the offside, but she just couldn't get enough bat on it. She offered the simplest of chances to Dunkley around the edge of the circle at extra cover. Well, cover really by the time she'd moved to her left to take the catch. And South Africa at 96 for 6.
She tried to give herself room. She steps out outside the leg stump because all the offside fielders were inside the ring. Gets a thick outside edge and just loops to Dunkley, who was on that 25-yard circle at cover. And Tucker, she tried to play her shots, couldn't quite get any away. And you can see what she was trying to do there. But Catherine Brunt, she's got 3 for already in this game. She's put England on top. I mean, so much so on top that she didn't bother celebrating that wicket.
She did she? Well, she's 1 wicket away now from Anya Shrubsole's England record of T20 wickets.
Is she going to do it?
Well, she's got 4 balls left in the over to do it, and Sinalo Jafta has come in, probably with instructions. She's got a decent strike rate of 120, but don't let that fool you. She's not batted that often. She comes out wearing her glasses. She kept during the test match, of course, and Brunt is into her. She crouches low, comes forward in immaculate defence, pushes it in short extra cover, and there's no run. Well, she won't be wanting to do too much of that as Brunt just hastens back to her mark. She does get through her overs quickly, does Brunt.
I think England women get through their overs incredibly fast.
Yeah, and it's more to say England women because Indian women really don't.
No.
Dipti Sharma, I swear she took 11 minutes to bowl an over in the World Cup.
Tying her shoelaces every 2 balls.
Well, chatting to Mitali Raj, mostly. As Brunt is into Jafta. That's fallen, it's driven in the air, and it's going to land just in front of a diving Heather Knight at short extra cover. They're not able to time Brunt at all here. It's been terrific bowling. She's taken 3 for 12. She's actually got... She's into her 3rd over. She's got 1 over, so she could bowl the 20th as well. Presumably will, actually.
Oh yeah, she definitely will. I didn't realise she had 2 left.
I thought she'd only got 1 left as well.
So she'll definitely bowl that last. Eccleston will bowl the next, she'll bowl the last.
Where are you, Phil Long? We need you. Brunt into Jafta. Full big appeal for LBW, going down leg. Rob Bailey's not interested, and they're not going to check this. So that must have been spearing down the leg side. We're at a slight angle where we are, where our commentary position is. It's not right behind the bowler's arm.
I thought Catherine Brunt then had given it the Stuart Broad celeb appeal, but she'd actually gone to pick up the ball, and that competitive nature of hers, she's run straight to Amy Jones to try and beat her to the ball.
Just 1 run conceded off this over, the 18th of the innings, under wicket. Brunt into Jafta, who clips the ball out towards deep mid-wicket. Sivers running in to do the fielding. They're not going to risk a run on that arm. And that is a great result for England, because it means that Jafta will be on strike. Wolfhart is becalmed at the other end. And after 18 overs, South Africa 97 for 6. Wolfhart 50. Jafta has 1. 2 overs left. It's hard to see them putting any kind of competitive total together here now.
I've been really disappointed with South Africa throughout this series, to be honest with you. I thought Sakakune in the test match was brilliant, holding up one end. doing her job, playing the night watcher and then batting the whole next day. But other than that, there hasn't really been any standout performances from South Africa. Wolfart's batted beautifully, Tryon's got some runs here and there, but they're relying on 2 fewer players to get them up to competitive totals.
Marizanne Kapp, I suppose we've got to give a bit of a shout out to,
during the test.
And in the one day she had some innings, but they were always innings in vain, weren't they, really? A couple of good knocks. I mean, it's difficult when you lose Dane van Niekerk and Lizelle Lee, but I was looking at the side that I expected South Africa to put out tonight. It hasn't actually turned out to be that way, as Eccleston starts the 19th over and Jafta swings for the hills. It's gone all the way. It has into the stand, deep square leg for 6. That's a great connection from Jafta. Well, hold your horses. 100 is up, 103 for 6. A wonderful shot. She's not a tall woman.
Yes, sir.
Bit of bottom hand flick on that, and that has gone.
I'll tell you what,
stands.
I have never seen.
Another, Boulder. She goes to the same shot again, swings across the line. This time she misses it. It was a bit fuller, maybe a bit quicker as well from Eccleston. She's not going to be hit for 6 twice in 2 balls, isn't Eccleston? And South Africa lose their 7th wicket. They're 103 for 7.
Well, it's not often you see people slog sweep Sophie Eccleston. She's an incredibly tough bowler to slog sweep, and that's because she gets so much bounce on the ball. She's been slog swept for 6. She's bowled a quicker delivery. She doesn't try and turn it. She gives her the finger, points to the dressing room and says, "Don't you ever do that to me again."
There was a bit of that, wasn't there?
Yeah. Not a smile on her face. It's dressing room's that way. I'll see you tonight.
Well, that was 2 great bits of cricket, actually. It was a great shot for the 6. A wonderful connection. And then a really good comeback from Eccleston. So Shabnim Ismail comes in. Shabnim, call me Ishmael, comes in at 9.
Well, this is what I love. These two had the biggest of battles in the World Cup, and I am excited to see what happens this evening.
Well, she's going to be swinging for the hills, you would think, unless, maybe the smart thing here is just to get Wolfart on strike. Wolfart's barely faced the ball in the last couple of overs, because Jafta got somewhat becalmed by Brunt, and then had the first 2 balls of Eccleston's over, albeit productively the first one. So left-handed Ishmael is going to face up to the left arm of Sophie Eccleston. And she pushes the first ball square of the wicket in the offside for that single to get Wolfart back onto strike. 104 for 7. 9 balls remain in this innings, which has spluttered really in taking regular wickets right from the start.
Interesting from Eccleston, she's left short third on the offside.
Eccleston in, and that's been pulled out towards deep square leg for 4. Dragged it down just a little short, not too short, but Wolfart seeing it well, and she's just pulled that just behind square. There is a deep mid-wicket.
So I was just going to say, Wolfart has looked to sweep Eccleston because that square leg is up inside the ring. So if I was Eccleston with this field, you have to bowl outside the off stump, or you put Sarah Glenn on the leg side boundary.
Next delivery is an attempted booming drive, goes no further than mid-wicket along the ground. There's no run. 108 for 7, last ball of the 19th over coming up. Eccleston from the Hayes close end. It's in now. Wolfart goes again for it, clips the ball nicely, crisply out towards deep mid-wicket for a single. End of the over, 1 remains. 109 for 7. Wolfart will have strike. She has 55. Ishmael has 1.
Expensive over that. 11 off.
Was it 11?
12.
6, 4, 1, 1. Yeah.
12 off. That's what South Africa needed about 15 overs ago.
Well, it was, wasn't it? And Eccleston finishes with 2 for 27 from her 4, which is unusually expensive for her. It's still under 7 and over.
Yeah.
But that's the issue, isn't it? There's been nobody at the other end really to help out. Yes, I was going to say, I checked out the last fixture, or the fixture that England played against South Africa 4 years ago, and actually we talk about South Africa missing a lot of players. They're missing 3 crucial players, 4 now with Marizanne Kapp out, but there's still quite a few familiar names here. As Brunt starts the last over, she's into Wolfart. Wolfart pulls out towards deep mid-wicket and is taken by Siver. Siver takes the catch off her wife's bowling, and it's Wolfhard that's gone, and Brunt has now drawn level with Anya Shropsole. She is the joint leading English T20 wicket taker of all time. It's a great catch by Siva. They went hard and flat out at deep mid wicket. She didn't judge it to perfection, just hesitated slightly, had to dive forward, took the catch a couple of inches off the ground, and well, there will be marital harmony tonight. We were worried slightly after Brunt didn't take the catch off Siva's bowling, but Siva's taken one off Brunt's bowling. And actually,
brilliant catch from
superb, isn't it?
Brilliant catch from Siva in the deep. She's 5 or 10 yards off that mid wicket boundary. Laura Wolfhard doesn't quite get hold of it. She runs in, she dives forward and grabs the ball just as it's about to hit the ground. You can't blame Wolfhard for going for it. She's been the backbone yet again of this South Africa batting lineup, and they find themselves in a lot of trouble, South Africa, with 5 balls left. They're 109 for 8.
Yeah, now then, she's got 4 for here as Catherine Brunt, so it's incumbent upon us. We don't have Phil Long. It's very difficult. So I'm trying to find out what her best T20 figures are. And
they're 3 for 6. Anya Brunt's.
Well, they're not anymore because she's taken 4 for.
So they're 4 for.
She could get a 5 for here. Well done. You got those quicker than me. My eyes are failing me. 3 for 6 are indeed her best T20 international figures. 5 for 18 and her best ODI figures. She could get her best white ball figures here. Her best test figures are 6 for 69 in an innings. She's got 4 for 13 at the moment. There are 5 balls left to be bowled.
She could be on.
Well, there's 2 wickets left to fall.
Only absolute true legends, Dan, get 6-fers.
Yeah,
so.
Well, I know, I really do. I just thought I could have done with a little bit more of the credit for that, because it was the lift that you gave me that I'm pretty sure did it.
I think definitely was. You gave me some inspirational quotes.
Class is a new bat. She faces up to Brunt and she comes forward in defence and pushes back up the wicket, and there is no run, which is intriguing. She's got to have a swing here, surely.
Well, you'd rather be bowled out at this stage, actually trying to find boundaries, than blocking the ball back to the bowler for no run.
Surely. I mean, they put in actually batting out the overs. 4 balls left. Brunt on the hunt for a 5-fer. She's in, and that's an attempted slog goes nowhere. Just back up the wicket to Brunt, who fields off her own bowling. Wicket ... in this over. What an extraordinary cricketer Catherine Brunt is. 37 years old.
She's brilliant, isn't she?
Oh, well, she's played one day international. Took 3 for nothing.
Yep. Sat on the bench for the next 2 games.
She's now 4 for 13.
And she's taken her best ever T20 figures today. Good on her.
Right, 3 balls left. She hunts for that 5-fer. 5 in the ring on the offside. It's into Class. Class pushes off the back foot rather impotently back to Brunt. We're not going to get a wicket maiden in the 20th over, are we?
Oh, no.
That would be slightly emblematic, wouldn't it, of South Africa's rather limp display.
Surely.
that's a sigh, Alex Hartley.
Surely not. I think we could, though. Class doesn't really look like she's going to score, and the whole leg side is free for her just to hit the ball into the leg side.
All 4 fielders in the leg side are all on the boundary. Brunt into Class. She comes down the wicket and she does get a run. She gets a thick inside edge that runs out towards deep mid wicket. They're going to go through for a second. Siva throws. This should be out. It will be out. Run out. Coming back for the second. Great throw on the bounce. So Class, she had to go for it really, but she just wasn't quick enough to get back, and another brilliant bit of fielding from Siva. She came tearing in for the deep mid-wicket boundary, picked up, threw on the bounce, right over the stumps, and Jones whipped off the bails. Class had to be, 3 yards out, 4 yards out, miles out. It hasn't got upstairs. It was given out on field. It's that out. It
was so out. It was a brilliant throw from Nat Siva, who throws it perfectly to Amy Jones, who just does the cleaning up. And South Africa, they've been poor again this evening, unfortunately. We're trying to say that, there's potential there, and, they could be a good side. And this South Africa side are ranked higher than England in ODI cricket. They're second in the world. During the World Cup, South Africa were the team to beat. And they haven't looked like... They have nowhere near England throughout this series.
And what irks me about it is, they've got Tryon, they've got Dupree, they've got Wolfhard, they've got loose Lees, even Suna Lees, the captain. They've got some fine players there. But anyway, last ball, 110 for 9. Here comes Brunt into Ayabonga Kaka. And that's gone down the leg side. It'll be a wide.
Oh.
It's well taken actually by Amy Jones to prevent any more than the one wide. 111 for 9 with one ball to go. Full and straight.
She ruined it. Brunty. She's ruined it.
Well, couldn't have been a maiden because it did get one.
Very true. Very true.
But I know what you mean.
Still ruined it.
Yeah. It was either a dot or wickets in this over, and then that wide's rather spoilt it. Here's Brunt. Will this be the last ball? She's in a slower ball, which is driven into the offside. They don't even bother running.
Oh, come on.
They don't even bother running. It's gone straight to the fielder, yes, but you might as well run. And so they're running now, they're running off. 111 for 9, South Africa finished on. It feels like a massively subpar total. England will require just 112 to win the match and take this series with an unassailable lead of 10 points to 2 if they do pull this off, and you really would expect them to. The stars of the show, well, they're Brunt and Eccleston again. Brunt with her best T20 figures. 4 for 15 she finished with. She's drawn level with Anya Shamsol on 102 wickets, and the crowd are rising to her all round Chelmsford. Very knowledgeable crowd here we have in Essex. A very large one as well, come to that. A terrific performance from England's 37-year-old veteran. So restart will be at about 8:31. They got through their overs nice and quickly there, so we've got about 9 minutes or so for us to chat. And I'm just making sure that Georgia Elvis's
Turned on.
is turned on, yeah, so to speak. Yes, thank you, Alex. So let's look back. Moving swiftly on, let's look back. Alex and I might have to look back first while Georgia composes herself. Or maybe I'll just have to do it on my own.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Look, not a great innings. 111 for 9. Brunt 4 for 15. Eggleston 2 for 27. Civil 1 for 18. Glenn 1 for 18. There was that run out. Wong 4 overs, none for 19. And Bryony Smith 2 overs, none for 12. England's bowling was exceptional right from the very beginning when Brunt picked up those 2 quick wickets. But from the start, you're wondering, why are we seeing the batters coming out to bat who are coming out to bat for a kick-off, where we didn't have long to wait for Laura Woolfart because they were 7 for 2 in no time. But the thinking seemed crazy, and if it seemed crazy at the start, then right at the very end, I mean, in all probability, they're going to get run out. But you don't hit the ball into the covers off the last ball and then just say no.
No.
I mean, everything about that was a bit underwhelming.
It was. The really, really frustrating thing for me is you want your best players to be facing the most amount of balls. So with this England batting line, you've got Wyatt and Dunkley at the top of the order who are going to go out there and be aggressive. Their job is to take advantage of the power play. We know how they play. We know how Bosch and Goodall play. It's not the same way as Wyatt and Dunkley. They're defensive players. Yes, they've got a brilliant defensive game and they are capable of taking boundaries. But when you look at those two coming out to bat, you think, well, they're not going to take the power play away from us. And that's the difference here in these two sides. Laura Woolfart, she can take a game away for you within the space of 7 or 8 balls. You know, she's that good, you know. And we've seen her score 50 today. And then she got herself stuck in a hole because she didn't face any balls. You know, she stood at the non-strikers end for such a long period of time. She then facing Catherine Brunt, she has no choice but to try and hit a boundary. I think the whole thing for me has been really frustrating to watch.
Georgia, you're back in the room.
Back in the room.
What did you make of that?
Well, I completely agree with Alex, to be honest with you. I think we want Laura Woolfart. She's their informed player. She's been the one that looks like scoring the most runs. We want her to face the most amount of balls, and her coming in at 4 is just ludicrous to me. I think the way that the two played up top, you could see that there was a bit of intent, but it's almost still like 5 years ago T20 cricket. And I think, you know, at no point did England really feel threatened. I thought we were outstanding actually up top with the new ball. I thought Catherine Brunt in particular was absolutely fantastic and really set the tone, and the South Africans, just as they have this series, have had no answer.
And Heather Knight's captaincy, I really enjoyed it. The sort of one-over spells didn't allow the South Africans to settle, and it also meant that she had options really early on, because she brought Bryony Smith on really quite soon. She got a couple of overs out of her, which gave her just that flexibility about whether she was going to use Wong necessarily for all 4 or Siva for all 4.
And you know, Bryony Smith is your 6th bowler, so you only really need to use Bryony Smith in an emergency. But England were so much so on top. Heather Knight goes, well, I'll chuck you the ball and let's see what happens. And I think what South Africa really needed to do was go after a bowler more than they did. They should have gone after Nat Siva, they should have gone after Sarah Gunn, and they should have gone after Bryony Smith, but they didn't. Fielding
is also exceptional. There are 2 errors that I could think of. One went through Izzy Wong's hands at mid-off, it was firmly struck. And then there was Catherine Brunt misjudging a chipped easy chance at mid-on off Nat Siva's bowling, but luckily...
She just wanted to take the wicket, that's what it was.
Yes. Well, and Siva obliged, didn't she, with a really terrific catch at the end.
Yeah, I think this England team pride themselves on their fielding, and they've worked really hard at it. And we know in T20s 5 or 10 runs can be the difference between winning and losing, and if you can make that up in the field, you're doing a fantastic job. They've got some brilliant fielders. They're all quick, athletic, get the ball away quickly as well. We've seen gun arms from out in the deep, and I think in the field, you know, that it breeds confidence, it helps the bowlers, you feed off each other in the field as well, so the girls will be seeing catches like Nat Siva, and then you've got Capsey and Kemp sat on the bench thinking, oh, that could be me one day, and that's just a fantastic environment to be around. And I think when a team is fielding good, they're playing good.
Yeah.
Well, when you say it could be them one day, if England win this game, and they'd be odds on to do it, needing only 112, there'll be 2 more matches left in this T20 before the Commonwealth Games, and that would be surely, Alex, the perfect opportunity to blood those youngsters.
Yeah, I think before the Commonwealth Games you've got to get them in, especially Kemp and Capsey. I'd love to see them in an England shirt. They've been brilliant in domestic cricket. I think Capsey, we've been talking about now for a year or so, haven't we? You know, and everybody that's a women's cricket fan is just waiting for Capsey to make her T20 debut, because she's a brilliant player. Yes, she's very young, but I think now's the perfect opportunity for her to get that.
Let's have a look at the Commonwealth Games, because they begin a week tomorrow, the 29th. England play their first game on the 30th against Sri Lanka. Many of you are going to be there. How many of you are commentating on that?
Me, Georgia, Emily.
I don't think Emily's there actually, but we've got a good team going.
Me and Georgia will be there.
Melissa, I think Aggers is going to be there, isn't he? Aggers is doing a bit of Commonwealth Games. If he can drag himself away from the dressage. I don't know if there is dressage in Commonwealth Games, to be pretty honest with you, but or archery perhaps. So you're all going to be there in Birmingham. All the games, all crammed in your hometown to Edgbaston.
Well, not quite.
Well, no, sorry.
It's quite offensive, actually.
It's quite. All right. The nearest absolutely gigantic city to where you live.
We'll go with that.
So the format is that there are 2 groups of 4, 3 matches each you play. Then you have semi-finals and a final. So the whole competition is crammed into a very short space of time. 2 matches per day.
Yes.
And it's the first time. Is it the first time that women have played in the Commonwealth Games? And men played Commonwealth Games some time back, like 1998, I think it was.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, South Africa, I believe, are champions. South African men's team, and the women didn't play. So
I'd be very surprised if South African women's team are champions of the Commonwealth Games.
Yes, I'd be rather surprised with that. They'll need to buck their ideas up certainly between now and next week. But you know, how much, Georgia, do you think it means? Because it's a weird one. Women haven't played in it before, but it's the Commonwealth Games. You get a chance to win a medal here.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is the prize that is waiting for one of these teams. And I know, having spoken to some of the England girls, they're all so excited. They had a kit fitting the other day.
It looked good, didn't it?
Yeah,
because it's a special kit, isn't it? Because it's Team England kit.
Yeah, they had a personal shopper who went around with them everywhere and kitted them out fully. So you know, special things like that. So they've got this opening ceremony jacket, they've got a closing ceremony jacket, they've got, honestly, it's wild what they've got. But the opportunity to play in the Commonwealth Games it's so surreal, I think, and it's probably something as a cricketer you don't really think about growing up.
Here's one for you. Me and Kate Cross were recording the podcast earlier this morning, sat on the outfield here at Chelmsford, and we were talking about the Commonwealth Games, and she said, isn't it funny, we got a silver medal in the World Cup and we were all really, really unhappy with it. She said, I'd be over the moon if we got a silver medal in the Commonwealth Games. And that, it just shows how special it is. You know,
doesn't it?
It's just an amazing opportunity.
Because you actually contribute to Team England and their overall tally, apart from anything else. So things like that. There's obviously that side of it. But there's a selection side of it. Now, I think a lot of eyebrows were raised when Tammy Beaumont was left out. She's been a mainstay at the top of the order for England since 2016, since Mark Robinson came in. I mean, it would have come as a terrible disappointment to her, but were you surprised?
I was surprised, actually. I think, like you said, her career and her record speaks for itself. I think I read an article that Heather Knight did over the last few days saying that they wanted a bit more aggression at the top of the order, and we see, obviously, with Dunkley opening the batting tonight, that's the way they're going. But I think Tammy Beaumont is right to be a bit frustrated and disappointed with her omission, and I'm sure she'll be looking to score a lot of runs like she did in the ODI series to put that right.
Alex, let me know what you think about that. Then I'm going to make way, because Emily Windsor's going to take us through the first 5 overs of England's innings.
Yeah, I think as Georgia said, it is a big surprise, and she's gone and played for England Academy today against New Zealand, got 70 off 40 balls, and she's been dropped because she doesn't score quick enough. And I think it's funny, sometimes as cricketers you do lose your place in your team, and you then get that bit between your teeth like, I'm going to show you, and she's done exactly that. Jojo nearly falls over, and she's done exactly that against New Zealand. And we're going to have a bit of a rejig. You're going to take my headset.
So the England batters, the new England opening pair, come to the crease. Danny Wyatt, who is familiar and will be familiar to our listeners, striding to the middle, but she'll be joined by Sophia Dunkley. A really exciting move this from England to send a youngster up to the top of the order. Georgia's great friend. Must be very proud to see her walking out there.
I'm a bit nervous, actually, because I know how much it means to her. It's an opportunity that she's been waiting for a long time. A bit like when she was promoted to number 3 in the order. Everyone was talking about how exciting it was, but you just want them to do well, don't you? And yeah, she's a very good friend of mine, so we all know what she can do, don't we? And we just hope that comes out tonight. I think her and Danny Wyatt probably would have been willing the South African batters on to get a few more runs so that they could have had a bit more fun out there, but
I'm not sure it'll change the way either of these play.
No, I don't expect so.
It's the crowd getting back into their seats, just got some refreshments, some young children just below us looking excited to see what Sophia Dunkley and Danny Wyatt can do. And Dunkley's going to take the first delivery, and it will be Ishmael. No surprises for South Africa with the new ball. Just interestingly, has Dunkley opened much in her domestic career with when she plays for the South East Stars? She doesn't open the batting there. For the Southern Brave, I think she comes in at 3. So this is a bit new to her as well.
Yeah, but I think speaking to her in domestic and junior cricket growing up, that's where she batted. She loves opening the batting. She's facing as many balls as she can, and I suppose 3 really, it's not that different to opening, is it?
Well, we'll be on the way then. Ishmael from the Hayes close end into Dunkley, and she's turned that into a vacant mid-wicket, but square legs quick to the ball, and will be no run. One thing's for certain, South Africa are going to have to bowl and field well in order to defend 111. So England need 112 to win, and you don't feel like that's going to be enough, Georgia?
No, definitely not. We saw signs this pitch is a good one. I can only remember a handful of balls that kept a little bit low, but no, you feel like it's a total England should chase.
Ishmael to Dunkley, driven back down the pitch, again no run. Luce, the captain, comes round at mid-on. So England not off the mark yet. Your commentary team will be Emily Windsor, Dan Norcross, with Georgia Alworth and Alex Hartley. Talk us through their thoughts in this second innings. There's a
dear.
no ball from Ishmael. That's not what South Africa need when they're chasing a very low total, but this is exactly what Sophia Dunkley would need. A free hit to get her underway in her England opening career. As Ishmael into Dunkley, and that shorter ball that's hit down the ground, hits hard, and that's 4 runs. That's exactly what Dunkley wanted, and that's exactly what we know Dunkley can do. 5 without loss, England.
Yeah, slapped down the ground completely dismissively. We actually saw Ishmael bowl a fair few front foot no balls in the ODI series, and every time a go-to ball off that free hit was a bumper, so that's no surprise. Sophia Dunkley set up for that, and she's just slapped it back down the ground like a tennis shot almost.
You've been playing some tennis with her, Georgia?
No, not me. I'm terrible at tennis.
The crowd enjoyed that one as the floodlights are on overhead, as Ishmael into Dunkley, and that's hit hard through cover, and mid-off, and that's 4 more. Whip from Ishmael and punished by Dunkley. 9 without loss, England.
Yeah, beautiful shot. A little bit of whip from Ishmael, and Dunkley got the length she wanted, and again slapped through that offside. She's got that unorthodox grip on the bat, which means that she hits in different areas, and like you've explained before, Emily, she's very whippy with her hands, and that's exactly what's happened there. Ishmael, you didn't think that was too bad of a delivery, but Dunkley's just whacked her hands through it, and it's raced away.
Ishmael to Dunkley again, short ball, good bouncer. That may be overhead height, yes it is. Wide ball called. That was quick though from Ishmael. She's that type of bowler, she's fiery. 10 without loss. England, just the 3 balls gone.
Yeah, and it's amazing what a centimetre has done to the over. Had Ishmael kept her foot behind that line, I feel like this over could have gone very differently, but as it is, Dunkley's away. He's feeling full of confidence.
Ishmael, white-soled shoes in bowls, and that's worked into the onside. The vacant mid-wicket for a single. Clever batting from Dunkley. Score moves to 11. And interestingly, we got an answer to the opening batting question. Hypercourse again, they're saving us. So Dunkley normally bats 3 in regional cricket, which we know, but the last time she did open in a 20-over match was during the Fairbreak Invitational Tournament in May, when she scored 123 not out for the Barmy Army.
No, there you go. How could I forget that?
Surely she's spoken to you about that a fair few times.
She'll be very pleased with me about that. But there we go. She does open the batting.
Danny Wyatt then to face her first delivery as Ishmael in bowls, and that's work to backward point, will be no run. You see Danny Wyatt do that early in her innings. She wants to guide the pace bowlers down to third man, stay leg side of the ball. And she's another player with an unusual grip, isn't she? She hits unusual areas, so maybe these two will complement each other nicely.
I think they will, and I think they will really well, and they're good friends, and I think that's important as well when you're forming a partnership at the top of the order, to understand each other's games and to understand each other. They'll both run very well. They're very quick between the wickets.
Ishmael into Wyatt, who backs away, trying to give herself room, and plays and misses. 11 without loss for England then after their first over, compared to South Africa, who were 1 for 1.
Yeah, very different start, and that aggression we've seen from Dunkley for the first few balls is a sign of things to come for this new England opening partnership. We said that they were going to be aggressive, they're going to take the attack to the South Africans, and I think it's very exciting. There's a lot of promise. I mean, we've seen what Sophia Dunkley can do in the 100 in this ODI series, so early on in her career still, but she really looks at placing an England shirt, and hopefully for England, her and Danny Wyatt can form a solid opening partnership at the top of the order.
The body language of Sophia Dunkley is one full of confidence at the moment. It'll be class to open from the river end. There she comes in to Sophia Dunkley bowls, and she's gone high in the air, down to third man. She doesn't run in and get there. Misfield, and they come back for a couple. That was a chance. Down at third man, a thick outside edge. Good all down there. Just didn't read it. 13 without loss.
No, and Class is not happy. She stood for a long time in the middle of that pitch with her hands on her head, giving Goodall the death stare. I don't think she ever made the eye contact to know that, but it's almost like she just didn't pick it up, did she? I know fielding under these lights is tricky, and I wonder if it's just come out of the lights maybe and she's not picked it up.
It's like 4 suns in the sky when you're out there under lights, but Class is in again, bowled, and that's hit hard up to mid-on. Wait, there is the call from Dunkley. Sune Loose, the captain at mid-on, doing the fielding. Good to see her in the game. We saw sometimes in the ODI series hiding herself away at fine leg, but she needs to step up today and be commanding in this series. South Africa have to win. It's a multi-format series, so if England win today, England have won that multi-format series. South Africa have to win the last 3 games in order to draw it with England. So the score's 8-2 currently, and South Africa getting the 2 from the draw from the test match. As Class into Dunkley, that's hit over the onside, and that's 6 runs. She's just lent on that and helped it on its way. That's a sign of a girl in form. She moves to 17, 19 without loss.
That is a quite ridiculous shot from Sophia Dunkley. Absolutely crunched out the middle of her bat there. It holds the pose for effect and is never going anywhere other than straight into the crowd. That's a fantastic shot. And that's a sign of what she can do, isn't it? I don't think we're going to see many forward defences here.
Talk about inspiring a generation. This girl below as well is loving what she's seeing. We got game stickers on her face. She's standing up and waving her 6 sign as class in again, and that's a shorter delivery missed out by Dunkley. But it's great to see moments like that, isn't it? And she's just turning to her parents, almost in shock with what she's just seen. To be honest, Georgia, I'm in shock. That was a hell of a shot from Dunkley.
It was. It's a shot that we're not familiar with her playing either. We know she loves to drive, she loves to slap down the ground, but I haven't seen her play many of those sorts of shots over Cal. But that's the form she's in, the confidence, like you said, that she's got. And it does make me laugh how she wears her helmet. It's always on the wonk, isn't it? And I think, how can she see out of that?
Clearly she's seeing it well. Fine legs come up into the circle, long on, and third man back now as class in. Slower ball, great delivery, and she just finds a way to get it to long on. It's like a front foot sweep. She moves to 18 off just 10 deliveries. It's not often you see Danny Wyatt at the other end being outscored. She's not off the mark yet.
Just thinking, I wonder what's going through Danny Wyatt's head, because she's so usually the aggressor, and she's just had to sit on her bat and watch Sophia Dunkley go about her work. But I'm sure she'll be wanting to get in on the action now.
Where will Danny Wyatt be trying to take class then as she's in bowls, and that's through hit on the offside again, a dot ball. It's clever from South Africa, bringing that offside field up where Danny Wyatt wants the hit, not giving her an easy single. Score 20 without loss then, 2 overs gone. These two are enjoying themselves out there. So is this crowd here at Chelmsford. Good crowd in tonight. Spread all around the ground. The hospitality boxes as well. They're enjoying a few waters up there. We'll see a change of bowler. Kaka coming into the attack. Be sure as well later to watch the highlights on the BBC iPlayer. It will be available 7 a.m. tomorrow. The in-play clips, highlights, live text feed. Make sure you check them out on the BBC Sport website and app. That 6 from Sophia Dunkley is certainly one to watch. Kaka then will be bowling to Sophia Dunkley with a long on and a deep mid-wicket. She bowls a play and miss outside the off stump. She's trying to work it into the onside and doesn't connect.
Yeah, I think Sophia Dunkley just needs to settle herself now. She doesn't need to hit every single ball for 4. Just keep her shape.
Come on, what would you be saying to her if you were out there with her now?
I'd just be telling her, well, she'll know better than me how to whack the ball, but I'd just try and tell her to keep her shape and keep her head down.
Kaka into Dunkley, slower ball, and that's hit out to mid-wicket. They're running, they're going to be quick between the wickets, these two. But the fielder does well out there, Bosch, to keep it to a single. 21 for none. That's another thing, these two are going to complement each other well, isn't it? Actually thinking about it is the running between the wickets, both rapid.
Yeah, they are absolutely rapid, and I think there could have possibly been 2 there, but Danny Wyatt's so fed up of not having the strike, she's decided that she didn't want to, because she wants to face a bit of Ayabonga Kaka here.
Same field to Danny Wyatt then. She bowls, boulder! Danny Wyatt wanted a piece of the action, and unfortunately tonight's not her night. She's gone without scoring. 21 for 1.
Yeah, a shot in haste really from Danny Wyatt. Not sure the ball was necessarily there, but she's just a bit frustrated because normally she faces a lot more of the strike than she has done so far tonight, and I think that might be something that we have to look at in this England opening partnership is how the roles change. And Danny Wyatt obviously so used to being the aggressor, so used to having the majority of the strike in the power play, and if Sophia Dunkley comes in and plays the way that she does, Danny Wyatt's going to have to adapt her game, and hasn't worked out for her tonight, but we know what a fantastic player she is, and I'm sure these two will be opening the batting in T20s for a long time to come. And
Bryony Smith
yes,
has come into the
I like
crease.
That.
So what will be the reasoning behind this? Obviously she was carded to bat at 7. Nat Siver's familiar face we usually see to bat at number 3, but Bryony Smith coming in.
I think she's going to throw caution to the wind, and I think she's going to try and absolutely smash every ball for 4 again.
Southeast Stars teammates Sophia Dunkley and Bryony Smith.
And I like it. I think it's a tactic we've seen from Australia quite a lot in the past. They sort of send Ash Gardner in the power play if they lose an early wicket to try and make the most of only having the 2 fielders outside the ring. So I don't mind it as a tactic from England. I think it's smart, and I think that Bryony Smith, I mean, we played against her the other day and she absolutely crunched it, didn't she? I've still got the bruises now.
I was at deep square leg and I kept getting the ball, so that's an area she likes to target. But Kaka into Smith and she punches that off the back foot up to mid-off. Will be no run. There's one thing for certain though, Bryony Smith has a smile on her face, and actually the England team today, I know it's been going their way, they kept restricted South Africa to 111 for 9, but they do all have a smile on their face out there, and the youth in the team's going to bring that new energy. There's Kaka into Smith again, who advances and plays it back to her. 2 dot balls. This is a fantastic over from Kaka. 1 for 1 off her first 5 deliveries.
No, you're absolutely right. They look like they're enjoying themselves. Obviously, when you're winning, it definitely helps that environment, but they all look like they've got set roles. They know what they're being asked to do by their captain and coach, and I think that really helps settle new faces coming into a team.
Kaka in again, bowls, and that's Pitt to cover. Will be no run. So that's the end of the over. Fantastic over from Kaka. 21 for 1, 3 overs gone. Bryony Smith and Sophia Dunkley are at the crease for England. Just a 1 run from that over.
Yeah, and I wonder now if Sophia Dunkley will change the way she plays. My guess is no. I think she'll just absolutely keep going, and we're going to see some spin come into the attack, which I think is a good option. I think we're going to see Chloe Tryon now, and someone who has bowled in the power play before, and maybe South Africa feel like Sophia Dunkley is so strong against seam, they just need to try something a bit different, make her put some pace onto the ball.
Good option against Bryony Smith as well. Quite often we try and target her at the Vipers with spin early on.
Hey, don't give away our secrets.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Charlotte Taylor gets the call up most games when we play the Stars, but it'll be interesting how Sophia Dunkley plays this. Deep mid-wicket and deep long on. Everyone else in the circle. Chloe Tryon just poises at the end of her mark, hiding behind the umpire, and comes in and bowls left arm into the pitch, and that's cut away from Dunkley, but fielded well at cover. Mignon Dupree diving and stopping that ball and splitting that offside ring field. Dunkley to 20, 22 for 1. I was looking forward to seeing Dupree bat today. I thought she'd add a bit of experience in that South Africa side, only playing T20 cricket now, as Tryon in bowls, fuller delivery and worked into the onside by Smith. They're running the first one hard. Wolvar in quickly. Good bit of work from her. She had a good day with the bat. It's gone 55. Now she's needed in the field. Dunkley just looking around. Where's her boundary options? Tryon in bowls, and that's hit down the ground. That's hit hard. Beats mid off, and that's 4 more runs to Dunkley. She hits that ball hard. 27 for 1 England.
Well, you asked where her boundary options were, and I say that is absolutely one of them. Straight down the ground. We know how strong she is there. Just waits for any sort of flight, uses her feet and crunches it past mid off.
Tryon in again, bowls, and that's down the leg side. Will be signalled a wide by the umpire. England's target is 112 from their 20 overs. 28 for 1 off 3.3. The required run rate at 5s as Tryon in, and that's off the back foot from Dunkley up to mid off. The dot ball. 24 off 15. Dunkley striking the ball cleanly. There's Tryon in, and that's worked into a vacant mid-wicket. Again for a single. Good rotation of the strike. 1 ball remains to this 4th over. Dunkley's helmet update is still on the Wong. try on in, and Bryony Smith's hit that high in the air. There's 3 fielders chasing after it, and she's landed it well. Great pitching wedge shot there from Smith, and she moves to 2. 30 for 1, 4 overs gone.
Yeah, it's very well placed, shall we say, from Bryony Smith there. But I think the South Africans won't feel too aggrieved, because I think the style of play that the England batters are playing at the moment means that they're going to be in the game a lot. There's going to be false shots, there's going to be high risk taken for high reward, and I think that you know, they'll still feel like if they can take a couple of wickets here, they're still in with a shout. I mean, that's the only way really that they're going to win this game now, is if they bowl England out. And the way that Bryony Smith and Sophia Dunkley play, it's going to be aggressive, so they are going to create chances. It's just about whether the South Africans can hold on to them.
Kaka to continue as she comes into Bryony Smith. Slower ball, and that's played to extra cover for no run. And this is for me a key as well with Smith. She's not got one away yet, but quite often we see her face quite a lot of dots, then she hits that boundary. But the way Dunkley's playing, she's hitting boundaries as well, but she's rotating the strike.
Yeah, and you see Bryony Smith's load up there. It's like a baseball load up, isn't it? She just wants to whack it.
Kaka to Smith, and it's bolder. She enjoyed that one, Kaka, and Bryony Smith has to walk back to the pavilion after just scoring 2. England 30 for 2 in reply to South Africa's 111.
Yeah, this is such clever bowling from Kaka. Bowled the slower ball and then followed it up with the quicker delivery that's just skidded through. Bryony Smith has misread the length, tried to pull it, and it's not short enough to pull. And the experiment for England there does not pay off this time, but I'm sure it'll be something that they look to again. But meanwhile, South Africa feel like they're well in this game. I think if they can, sneak a couple more wickets and they get into the middle order of England. Obviously the experienced Nat Siver coming out, there's no chances there when she's walking out. But the slower balls from the seamers look to be gripping in the pitch. I think if the South Africans can communicate that amongst themselves, then we'll see plenty more of those this evening. And they look quite difficult to play, actually. We saw Smith struggle to time those, and we've seen Dunkley as well. So it's certainly not impossible for South Africa, but still a long way, a lot of work for them to do.
There certainly is, especially when you look at that England lineup. You said Nat Siver's now come to the crease. You've got Heather Knight, the England captain, Amy Jones, Maya Bouchier. All fantastic batters in this format. As Kaka into Siver bowls, and she's played that up to mid-on, and it'll be a single. Siver off the mark. 30 for 2. 31 for 2, sorry. Scoreboard not reacting quick enough.
You're too quick, Winnie.
Who's Winnie?
You. Emily Windsor, you're too quick.
Kaka then, she's having a good start to today. Comes in from the Hayes close end to Dunkley, and that's played up to mid-on for a single. Dunkley will move to 26. 32 for 2 England.
Yeah, terrific couple of overs here from Kaka. She's 2 for 3 at the moment off her 1.4, and she's really got her side, given her side something.
Kaka to Siver, that's worked into the mid-wicket gap. Again, just be a single. Clever batting from Siver. She doesn't have to do anything reckless. She's on to 2, 33 for 2. Georgie, you've got fond memories batting here. Last time I was here, I watched you score a fantastic 100.
Oh yes, yeah.
And I got out first ball.
Did you?
I had pad rash.
Oh dear.
And then top edged a short ball from Datini. I remember that. Kaka into Dunkley, and that's played up to mid-on, hit hard again from her. She picks up a single. She moves to 26 to score 34 for 2, and Georgia can talk through her fantastic 100 here, and you'll be joined by Daniel Norcross.
No, nobody needs to hear that. I'll spare you all from that. But 2 overs from Kaka, 2 for 5, and I think she's been outstanding. I think she's mixed her pace up really well. She's not let the England batters get her away. She's bowled tight lines, shown her experience, and if it wasn't for her, I think this card would be looking completely different. But as it is, Dunkley's still out there. She's going nicely. Joined by Nat Siver in the previous over, and with all the experience that she's got, these two are going to run incredibly well between the wickets. You feel, and Dunkley's still on the hunt for boundaries. Hello, Daniel.
Hello. I'll just have to wolf down 2/3 of a burger.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. Class.
Was it good?
It was, yeah.
Good.
Yes. It was tender on the inside, perfectly cooked. Nice crisp iceberg lettuce, red onion. I like that. It lacked the cheese that I'd been promised, and there was no mustard. But I'm not going to complain because someone else went to get it for me. Class starts with the over from the river end into the crouching Dunkley. And Dunkley drives firmly down the ground for 4. She used her feet really well. She's been dynamic today with the bat, Dunkley. She moves to 31 with that. She hit it straight. She got straight to the right-hand side of mid-off, which was a key to bringing up the 4 because there were 5 fielders on the offside. It was in the air and it very nearly took Class's head off. It was such power.
Yeah, she's been really clever there because she's given herself a bit of room, and oh my goodness, yeah, evasive action there from Class. That could have been very nasty.
Welcome to the game. Yes, she wasn't down in the squad sheet that we got originally, wasn't Class. In she comes again. Dunkley drives firmly into the offside. Good diving stop, moving to her left by Mignon Dupree. 38 for 2 in the 6th over. Dunkley 31, Siver 2. If you want to see any of these dynamic shots, of course, iPlayer tomorrow from 7 a.m. I've been told by our producer. And in-play clips and highlights available on the BBC Sport website and app as ever. So what does Class do here with England 38 for 2, cruising really? They have lost those 2 wickets, but the run rate required is so low. Class in, she's gone for a big one over the top of third, deep third. It's running away down to the boundary and it will skip on and get there. Well, she was momentarily would have had a heart in her mouth because that skewed off the outside edge. She was looking to go up and over, probably mid-off, maybe extra cover. And she got a thick edge and it just evaded the short third fielder and ran down to the boundary on this very quick outfield. 42 for 2.
Yeah, what do they say? Fortune favours the brave, isn't it? She played that shot a couple of times, obviously a miss hit, but it wouldn't have carried even if the third had been out, so Class will feel aggrieved. I think she's bowled decent enough delivery there, but again, Dunkley finds a boundary.
Well, we've got a long on and a deep mid-wicket. Those are the 2 boundary fielders. She's looking to go offside most of the time here, Dunkley, if it's outside the off stump. And she chips this actually down between these 2 fielders. It's running up towards the boundary, but Ishmael is quick to her right to field. Ishmael keeps them to 1, and we've talked a lot about sort of rather flaccid body language of the South African side, but she is an exception. She is such a competitor. She will always be at you, whether she's got ball in hand or in the field. She's aggressive looking and snarling. I think she's probably really hurting, because she's not used to this. As Alex Hartley said earlier, they're the number 2 ranked ODI side in the world. Class into Siver, just works this calmly into the onside. There's a massive gap out to that deep mid-wicket. Chloe Tryon does the fielding. They get through for 1 more. Siver to 3, 44 for 2. Last ball of the power play coming up, with England still requiring 68 by my maths in
Good
14 overs. Yes, which is the run rate required is low. It's below 5 and over, and they're trying to get as many as they can in this power play. Class into Dunkley, and Dunkley chips in the air high. It's going to go all the way for 6. That's just crept over the boundary, straight back over the bowler's head. Shabnim Ishmael ran to her left and tried to cut it off, but Dunkley finishes the power play as she started it. A wonderful shot. England are 50 for 2 at the end of it. 16 runs off that Class over. And again, little use of the feet and no great follow through, but beautiful timing, lofting it quite deliberately up and over the infield and out over the boundary. England needs 62 from 84 balls. Dunkley has 42 from 23.
Gosh, that has got to be the shot of the night. That was sensational. She didn't try and overhit it, did she? And I think that's what early on in her innings she probably was trying to overhit the ball. She's just absolutely timed that down the ground. Fantastic shot, and she's done the exact job that the England coach and captain have asked her to do. She's gone out there and she's taken on the bowling. A strike rate of, my maths isn't that good. 190, I would have thought.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Yeah, 188 to 190, something like that. Yeah.
And she looks in fantastic touch, full of confidence. She's happy to just keep playing the way that she plays, and I like the promotion.
I love the way that helmet's at an angle. You're probably too young to ever have watched Dad's Army, or did your parents force you to?
No, I haven't seen any of it.
Right. Well, there was a character in it, but it was like a spiv, to say, buy some nylons, that kind of thing. And he always used to have his hat at a jaunty side angle, and I always think of that character when I see Dunkley. Start of a new over from Ishmael. First ball's tickled away, fine. It's running down towards the boundary. It's going to be picked up by Ayabonga Kaka. So just keeps them to 1. She moved swiftly to her right. 51 for 2.
It might be the fashion these days. I don't know.
It might. How does it happen like that? I mean,
I have no idea.
Freddie Flintoff used to have that.
I've absolutely no idea.
The hat looks, slightly inebriated. The helmet. So, is it? It's not because her hair's tied up in such a way.
She must have a wonky shaped head.
Could be that.
I'll have to ask her.
Yeah, it's a good look though. Ishmael runs in for the Hayes close end. Into Dunkley, who drives into the offside on the bounce. It's fielded at short extra cover. And there's no run. 51 for 2. England needs 61 from 82 balls. They've dominated the series. They've dominated this match. And South Africa so far have found few answers. The 2 wickets they picked up were with straight balls, where the England batters Wyatt and Bryony Smith looking to get on with it. Oh, no ball. Oh dear. We've just discovered it's a no ball. They've checked it, and a free hit will ensue. That's not what Ishmael wants to hear. Mike, what are you going with? I'm going with furious bouncer.
Well, Sophia Dunkley just indicated that to Nat Siver. I think that is going to go what's come.
No, she's gone full and slower ball, and it's been chipped really out to deep mid wicket for a single. What a terrible anticlimax that was. I was expecting a really angry bouncer.
Well, she's bowled plenty of those that have gone for plenty of boundaries, hasn't she? So changed up, but Sophia Dunkley was wise to it, and probably a good result there for Ishmael, just going for the 1 run.
Yeah, but of course she's conceded a bit off the no ball as well, don't forget. So she's in again now to Siver, short and pulled out to deep square leg, and that's going to be 4. Oh, a great shot from Siver. She got right on top of it, but she timed it so well. There is a deep backward square leg, but she got it in front of square. Fielder stood no chance. 57 for 2.
Well, that rivals Dunkley for shot of the night. It's the stand and swing there from Nat Siver. She's so good on that short ball, and that was so dismissive.
What I love about this, how far in front of square she got it. Ishmael enter again. That's clipped away. Squarer this time. They'll go out to deep backward square, and they'll just get the single. The singles are perfectly fine for England at the moment. 58 for 2. 54 needed from 80 balls, and this is to win the series, don't forget. If they win this match, they'll take an unassailable 10 points to 2 lead with only 2 games left to go. And these matches all in the lead up to the Commonwealth Games, as we were discussing earlier. 4 in the ring on the offside from short third round to short extra. As Ishmael is in, worked into the onside by Dunkley this time. They've run the first quickly. She all knows that wanted a second, sent back by Siver. She turned a bit blind there, but Siver was wise to the situation and sent her back. 1 more to the total. Dunkley to 44.
Yeah, it's probably a run they could have taken had they been chasing 10 and over, but with the situation as it is, neither of them wanted a silly run out, so that was probably a wise decision.
The lights are fully in control now. We're beyond the crepuscular hour. We're really into night time now, as Ishmael is in. Short, and that attempted pull comes off the under edge of the bat. Back to the bowler, end of the over, 12 gone. England 12 gone? What am I talking about? 13 to go, 7 gone. England 59 for 2, Dunkley 44. Siver has 9.
Orlovsky's.
Orlovsky. Okay. Well, I'm not sure you'll be back. Well, you obviously will be back at the end of the game because we'll do a wrap up, but the way England are going,
you're predicting the next 7.
Predicting this, England need 53 in 7. We'll hear from Georgia later when we look back on what's happened today. Or indeed, who knows? South Africa may get back into it. Have I pressed the right button?
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
You've done very well there, Dan.
Boom.
Smashed it.
Yeah. Thank you, Grandad. Yes. You pressed the right button. Well done.
Well, as long as you don't press the one that takes us off air like I've done before.
Oh, you have once, haven't you? How did you do that?
There was the TV wasn't working, and every time I hit the TV it came back on.
Oh.
And there was a cable hanging out the back of the TV. So I pulled that, but that was the cable.
Oh, that's not fair. Start of a new over. First ball is cut out towards the covers. They're coming back for a second. This could be tight. Throw comes in, but Siver is home at the non-striker's end. So Chloe Tryon, first ball of Chloe Tryon, second over, goes for a couple. Dunkley to 46. She's within a boundary of a super fast 50, having been brought up to the top of the order. Controversially, perhaps. In place of Tammy Beaumont, Tryon is into her. She comes down the wicket, gets into a bit of a tangle, but manages to squeeze the ball along the ground up to Ishmael at long on. Gets a single, 47.
So yeah, I pulled that cable out of its socket, which I thought was the TV cable, and it wasn't. It was the cable that put us on there.
The ISDN cable sort of thing. Oh yeah, that's a big one. That.
And I kept talking, and Henry Moran was like, "The line's gone dead, Alex. You can stop talking." So sorry about that.
Well, I'm sure no one noticed. Tryon's in, clipped back down the ground by Siver, just to the right of Tryon in her follow through. She couldn't get a hand on it, and Ishmael has to tidy up at long on. 63 for 2. Or were the furious tweets coming in? Where have you gone?
No, they were all laughing because they all knew it was my fault.
Tryon into Dunkley. Dunkley comes down the wicket, this in the air. Ishmael should take the catch, and she's dropped it. She has dropped it. It wasn't the easiest chance. She had to make some ground to her left, but having got there, she should have held on to it. It wasn't hit very firmly. It was mistimed. It was straight back over the bowler's head. It's a very good position to have, actually, for Dunkley, is straight over the bowler's head, but she survives, gets a single. Reverse sweep from Siver, gets it fine. Doesn't get a lot of bat on it, but it's a quick outfield. It's running away towards the boundary. It will be cut off. Just a couple more runs as Lara Goodall does the fielding. I haven't seen a replay of that drop, but I think when we do, it won't be good news for Shabnim Ishmael.
No, it won't. We're just going to see it now. Sophia Dunkley going down the ground. She actually gets there and it dips on her at the last minute. I mean, she should have taken that. She's one of South Africa's quickest fielders, best fielders.
Yeah, Tryon bought her run up there. She did get there, and then she did that thing. So she thought, oh no, maybe it's going to dip so much, it's going to bounce into the ground and hit me in the teeth. So she sort of flung her head back, didn't she? Which then puts your arms that much further away from the ball. Anyway, Dunkley survives. Tryon into Siver. Last ball of the over. Shorter, flatter. And
snooker cue.
Yeah, right off the toe end of the bat. Ball rolls into the onside. There's no run. 66 for 2. 8 overs have gone. England need 46 from the last 12 overs. At under 4 and over. Dunkley 48 from 29. Siver 12 from 10.
Well, Sophia Dunkley doing exactly what she was made to at the top of the order. Can you go at a decent strike rate? England lost their first wicket at 21 for 1, and Wyatt hadn't scored a run. They were all Sophia Dunkley, and that's why she's up there. Yes, we're going to talk about Tammy Beaumont. Should she or shouldn't she be there? But Sophia Dunkley proving that she's good enough to be at the top of the order.
I mean, the thing is, if Dunkley plays like this, she will have failures, because that's the nature of it. If you take the risks that she's going to take, evidently.
You only have to look at a Joss Butler,
yeah,
you know, who will go through patches where they fail, and that's T20 cricket. That's why, you know, cricket's one of the most annoying games to play in the world.
Nyabonga Kaka starts her third over, and Dunkley will pick up a single, tucking this into the onside. Kaka chases after the ball, prevents any thought of a second. She moves to 49. Kaka has bowled really well here, 2 for 6 in 2.1 over. She's very experienced. I mean, I was looking at that team that played against England 4 years ago, looking for the same sort of names. She's there, and she's been around for yonks.
I was looking at Hypercourse got in touch about Wolfhart batting 3 or lower. I think she averages 17 opening the batting, but 50 odd batting 3 or lower.
Is that right? Kaka bowls a slower ball, and that's worked out towards deep square leg by Siver. She got it just on the full. She had to reach for it, but again, this is good bowling from Kaka, just changing up her pace with some disguise. 68 for 2. So maybe there was method in the madness. I think the thing is, though, South Africa need to have a big presence at the top of the order, don't they?
Yeah, and that's what we're going to question from now until the next game, I guess, on Saturday.
Dunkley on 49. Faces up to Kaka. She's going to pick up a 50. She works this full toss out towards wide long on. And it's a 50 that's come in 31 balls. A really wonderful knock with some great shots. There was a strapple in the first over which he whacked Ishmael dismissively straight back past her. Had a 6 chipped over mid-wicket, a 6 straight down the ground. She did get lucky a moment ago with a drop catch. A strike rate of 161, 2 6s, 5 4s. Only the 8 dot balls in that innings. As Kaka is into Siva. Bowler! She came down the wicket at, again, I think a slower ball, 53 miles an hour. And Siva's got to go now. And Kaka's day, South Africa's hasn't been great. Ayabonga Kaka, she has 3 for 8 here. Siva goes for 13 and England 69 for 3.
Yeah, Kaka picking up all 3 of South Africa's wickets. A slower ball from her, runs her fingers down the side of the ball. It just grips in the surface as Nat Siva looks to flick it into the leg side to try and get 2 runs in that vacant area on the leg side. Just plays around it and it clips the top of leg stump, and a brilliant delivery from Kaka. But you would still say at this point it is England's game. They only need 43 from 68 balls.
And Heather Knight's coming out of the wicket, so there's a fair bit of experience just walking to the crease now. I suppose, though, South Africa will be thinking, if Dunkley's going to go on playing the way she does, she could offer a chance. If Dunkley goes, 2 new batters at the crease, 4 down. Problem is, England do bat low. They go all the way.
That'll be Nat Siva's first failure in a long time.
Yeah, since before the World Cup final.
150 in the 149 not out in the World Cup final.
Then what did she get in the Test match?
Runs.
Lots of them. And then again.
Runs again.
Yeah.
And then a bail. But it happens.
At last.
Cricket is the sport that you fail more times than you succeed.
You do, don't you? I mean, I think for bowlers,
that and baseball,
you have more opportunity to succeed, because you get to bowl your 4 overs each time, don't you? But I think for a batter, I was told once by a former pro, a friend of mine, he said that he reckoned that he only went to work and succeeded on between 10 and 15% of the days he was there. He was either fielding but didn't really do anything. He didn't bowl, and when he batted,
he wouldn't get any runs. Very rarely. 1
time in 4.
Yeah.
He would be satisfied, if that. Kaka with 3 for 8 to her name, comes in and bowls first ball to Knight. Is defended off the front foot. Back to the bowler. Kaka's only got 1 more over after this. It's the problem for Sunilise. And she's had to go to her because she had to try and find wickets from somewhere.
And that's the luxury that England have got. They can actually just see her out now because they can attack from the other end. They're not chasing very many runs. So where South Africa could have just done with 30, 40 more runs, but they would have been in a really strong position.
Well, it would have made, on the face of it, much more of a game of it, as Kaka is in to complete the over. And Knight drives up to long on. She'll get off the mark with this, get a single. 69 for 70 for 3, I beg your pardon, at the end of the 9th over. 11 overs remain, 42 needed. Knight 1, Dunkley 50, with Kaka 3 for 9 off 3. If you take those out, you've got 61 off the other 6 overs.
England have batted brilliantly against everybody else.
So what do you do if you're Sunilise? Do you bowl Kaka out and I hope you get another wicket now? You maybe get Dunkley.
I would. I think you've got to try. The only way they're going to win this game is taking wickets, and she's been the only wicket taker. She's been the only one that's added pressure. So I would bowl her again. You just got to throw all your eggs in one basket. Very Love Island, that. All your eggs in one basket.
Oh, yeah. Have you watching this series?
Not really, no. Not really. I watch
we've been a bit busy, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's been a bit tricky to do.
At 9 o'clock, there's always cricket on the TV.
There is at the moment.
And I would
and on the radio, Alex, don't forget. It's always on.
Well, I marry them up, don't I?
Yeah, of course you do, yeah. Start of a new over. Reverse sweep is going to be brilliantly stopped, actually. It's Tucker who's bowling. And now it's Fielder got herself to spot a bother there.
No, she's all right.
She's going to be okay. She's prevented the boundary, but hasn't stopped Heather Knight picking up a 1 run at backward points. A really good diving stop with both hands.
Just hit the ground a bit heavy.
Ouch. Yes, just did a bit. Tucker in off 2 or 3 paces. Bowls a ball that just it goes almost gazunder. Pushed out to the offside. There's no run. Suddenly the stump microphone is quite definitely picking up the keeper very loudly, who's suddenly become animated now that 3 wickets are down. Dunkley on strike. What's she going to do with this? Use her feet, drives firmly up to long off, just for a single. As Tryon does the fielding, throws in left-handed. England's progress just slowing ever so slightly now. 72 for 3, 40 more required from 63 balls.
They have that luxury, they can have a couple of quiet overs.
Tucker in off the back foot. Knight just punches the ball to short extra cover. There's no run. And there's definitely some more animation in the field for South Africa now. Sensing they're in with a chance here. Right arm over the wicket comes Tucker, and Knight drives to the left a bit off. The throw comes in, that hit. I think Knight could have been in trouble. She's not the swiftest between the wickets. Tryon's throw missed, however, and she survives.
I think she would have been gone there if Tryon had hit, and she would have been by maybe half a foot or so.
Yeah, something like that.
But she missed.
She did. Next delivery is shanked slightly, squeezed up to long on, where Shabnam Ismail will do the fielding. 1 more to the total. England need 38 from 64 runs off that over. Dunkley 52. Knight has 3. Thoughts from Alex Hartley. And then, very possibly to take you through to the end of the match, it's going to be Emily Windsor.
Oh, that's a brave call from Dan Norcross. Although it is very possible. 5 overs left. England need 38 from 60 deliveries. Sophia Dunkley is almost trying to hit the ball a little bit too hard at the minute in the last couple of overs, which I actually don't mind. And she just swing easy. I think she'll connect a little bit better.
Drinks.
Did we have drinks the first time round?
That's not us having drinks, listeners. That's South Africa having drinks, and I don't recall that at all.
It's warm, but it's not that warm.
It's not that warm.
It's not.
You're still not in your jumper though.
Exactly.
But it's...
I think that fan's been turned off. No, it hasn't. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's need drinks in a T20 sort of weather.
No, I'm pretty sure that didn't happen in the first innings as well, but then I suppose wickets were falling regularly, so players were hydrated in South Africa innings. But 38 from 60 balls, and my, has Dunkley played well.
She has indeed. Promoted to the top of the order, and she's taken that opportunity. It's almost like she feels no pressure. You know, she was promoted to 3. She got 20 odd in the first game, and then she got runs and she got 100. She's just taking it all in her stride.
I'll tell you who's making a mark as well. There was an England A fixture today against New Zealand. Certain Tammy Beaumont, who's been dropped from this squad, scored 74 off 40 balls against the full strength New Zealand.
She has been told she doesn't score quick enough, and I guess that was a big I can if I want to.
We say no more. Moving on. Score 74 for 3. 38 from 60. Dunkley and the England captain Heather Knight at the crease. South Africa having conversations sort of in pairs as we look actually. Wolvaart and Ismail. Sune Luce and Chloe Tryon. The captain of South Africa. I guess, is she an interim captain with Danae van Niekerk still out with her injury?
Yes, she is indeed. I think when Danae van Niekerk is fit again, she'll be captain. I think she's a very good captain as well.
Very different to Sune Luce. Very different in terms of characteristics. As we look on the field, obviously we don't know, we're not there, we don't know how they are, but Danae definitely wants to be in the heat of the battle. She pulls her players up, that's for sure, but the fielders are back in play. And we're going to see Anika Bosch into the attack. And she'll be rolling to Sophia Dunkley, who's 52 not out. 38 required from 60 balls then, as Bosch in, and that's hit into her own pads, Dunkley. So there'll be no run.
Just shimmying down the wicket ever so slightly there, Sophia Dunkley. Just hitting the ball into herself.
And Bosch getting stuck in. She's letting her know.
Did she say something?
Yeah,
then?
she did.
Love that. What about the Spanish girl on the bench yesterday getting a yellow card?
that was epic.
Loved it.
Don't you just wish we had cards in cricket actually for moments like
there
that?
Are. If you're really not well behaved.
Bosch to Dunkley. She's hit that hard, but straight to extra cover. Mignon Dupree does the fielding, so it's no run.
They definitely have cards at club cricket.
But do you reckon the umpires out there now have cards in their pocket? Do you know what I'm going to ask on Saturday? That's going to be my challenge. Another no ball for South Africa.
Another 3 hit. And Bosch
Gutted. She throws her head back. Oh, what have I done?
Another freebie, Sophia Dunkley, and she's not going to miss out, that's for sure, as she bowls slower ball, and that's hit hard down the ground, but there's a fielder at long off, so it would just be a single, and Dunkley looks up to the sky this time. So much going on up there? I don't think so, just some clouds, overcast conditions. 76 for 3, but I'm going to ask on Saturday, the umpire, whoever it is, if they've got cards in their pocket.
And you let us know on Monday. Are you back on Monday?
I'm back on Monday.
There we go.
So you'll find out on Monday when we're covering Derby, the 3rd T20, whether umpires have cards in their pockets.
BBC 2 that game as well, so you can watch it live on the BBC.
There's Bosch. In tonight, bowls outside the off stump, short and pulled by Knight. That's a poor delivery and punished with a boundary. Knight's first boundary, 80 for 3. England 32 needed off 57.
So well directed pull shot that from Heather Knight, and that will get her going, as it's a slower ball into the pitch and it's pulled with venom from Heather Knight and splits the deep mid wicket fielder and the square leg fielder.
Bosch in again, bowls, and that's worked out to mid wicket. They're running the first one hard. It'll just be a single. Kaka does the fielding. This young girl down here, I talk about every time I'm on air, but she is loving life. Whenever there's a boundary, she's up, she's waving her 4 and 6 sign. It's so good to see these young cricketers, young cricket fans in the crowd.
She's getting a bit tired though. There's a big old yawn then. Past the bedtime.
Dunkley needs to finish it quickly then, as Bosch in, and that's up in the air, that's high, and that is 6 runs. There she is, she's up on her feet again, she's not that tired, and Dunkley moves to 59. 25 required from England, for England off 55 balls.
That is a brilliant shot from Sophia Dunkley, as the young girl in front of us waves her 6 in the air. She gives herself room, she slaps it down the ground. I love that from Dunkley, because long on is out, but she knows I can clear long on if I get hold of it. I am going to be fearless, and she gets the reward.
59 not out then. Bosch in, full toss, that's helped down the leg side, there's a fielder under it. She takes the catch. Dunkley has gone for 59, and Bosch enjoyed that one.
She gives her a send-off. Puts her arms in the air and looks at her and just goes, see ya.
And Heather Knight there as well, running up to Dunkley on her way back and given her a tap on the back. The England captain's happy with her performance, but Dunkley has gone for a fantastic 59.
Sorry, it was a full toss that Dunkley's tried to hit into the leg side, but instead of hitting it, she's guided it, and she's actually got hold of it really well, but guided it to that deep square leg fielder. If she'd have hit it, it'd have gone way into the stands. But she's gone for a brilliant 59 off 39 deliveries, promoted to the top of the order, and has done her job for England yet again in this series.
87 for 4 though, England. 25 required off 54. Is that the physio on talking to Heather Knight, Alex?
Yes, it is indeed. That's Physio Dan.
Physio Dan. Is his first name Physio, last name Dan, or?
I don't know his last name.
Just known as Physio Dan.
Dan the physio.
We go that way round. But Amy Jones strides to the crease. I'm interested how she goes about playing today. She's batting at 6.
Not had much to do throughout this series, Amy Jones.
Tucker coming on to bowl for South Africa. She will be bowling to Amy Jones. And Mignon Dupree at extra cover, signalling to her captain about the ramp and the paddle. As Tucker in bowls, and that's played up back to her for no run. Kaka's really fiery tonight, isn't she? She bowled exceptionally well up front. She's getting stuck in at mid-wicket. I like this energy from South Africa. They're not giving up. Tucker in, bowled inside edge down to fine leg. Again, no runs fired in from the captain, Sune Luce, who again's fielding at fine leg.
Yeah, I think she has got a sore finger or thumb. Elvis was saying earlier, George Elvis. So maybe that's why she's down there.
I suppose it's a good reason as Tucker in bowls and Jones advances, plays it back to her. South Africa getting stuck in. Mignon Dupree gives Tucker a high five, letting Jones know that she's had 3 dot balls, but just a reminder, England only need 25 or 51 balls. They're 87 for 4. There's Tucker in bowls, and that's played up to long on. Be a single. 24 required off 50. Just a reminder, South Africa finished 111 for 9 off their 20 overs. Laura Wolvaart with 55 of those. It's Tucker will be bowling to the England captain, Heather Knight. She's in, she advances and finds Kaka at mid-wicket. Another dot ball.
It's been a good over this from Tucker. Just the 1 run coming off it so far.
Tucker in again, and that's a reverse sweep from Knight. The fielder at backward point cannot stop that. 4 runs to her. She plays that shot so well. 20 required then off 48 balls now for England. And there's again children in the crowd enjoying that one. They were actually there where the ball went at deep backward point, all dressed in pink,
enjoying their day out. It was a brilliant shot from Heather Knight, knowing that they needed a boundary, takes the risk, gets hold of it up and over backward point, who actually runs to her left thinking that Heather Knight might hit it along the floor, but she goes over the top. I think it was accidentally, but she got hold of it and got the reward. So we're going to see Kaka back into the attack. I think she should have bowled the over before, to be completely honest.
She bowled exceptionally well up front. She's bowled 3 overs. She's gone for 9 runs and got 3 wickets. This will be her final over. As she comes into Jones, bowls, and that's turned into mid-wicket. It was up in the air, but lands safely and will just be a single. Jones moves to 2. 19 off 47, and that's where you see Jones get caught out a lot, isn't it, at mid-wicket?
Mid-wicket. My notes throughout the Ashes were Jones caught mid-wicket again.
Did you write another again after every time?
I felt sorry for her in the end.
Kaka into the captain Knight. That's pulled away fine. And Sune loose at fine leg does the fielding. So she's not only at fine leg in the circle now, she put herself at deep fine leg.
Yeah, I think even if you're captain, you've got a sore finger, I think you can still do a mid-off. Just get around your team, get around your bowlers, offer some advice.
18 off 46. Kaka into Jones, and she plays it back to her, trying to work it into that onside again. Jones is on 2 off 6 deliveries. Prolific run scorer in domestic cricket. The Central Sparks. She certainly hits the ball hard and a long way. The England fans want to see that today as Kaka in bowls, and that's worked to mid-wicket again, a dot ball. Ball fired back into the keeper's gloves. Mignon Dupree wants the ball back.
We mentioned how good the crowd is tonight. It's been the best crowd of the lot. It's been brilliant.
It's been fantastic.
Always is here. Always is. It used to be the Fortress Chelmsford, but then England went and lost a game against Australia, so it's no longer the Fortress.
As Kaka into Jones, that's a quicker delivery and worked up to mid-on, who's now a long on, so she gets a single, moves to 3, 17 off 43.
Although, can it still be a Fortress if you've only ever lost 1 game here?
Sure,
I reckon
yeah,
so.
I reckon you can, as long as you haven't only played 2 games here, which I'm sure England have played way more than 2 games, it can still be a Fortress.
Okay.
We'll still call it Fortress Chelmsford. There's Kaka in, and that's worked onto the onside by Knight. It'll just be a single.
We'll call it what?
She moves to 14 at Fortress Chelmsford. 96 for 4 then. 16 required off 42, and here we go in the crowd. This is the moment you live for, isn't it?
Free t-shirts.
Free t-shirts. I'm surprised we're not seeing Georgia Elwes running around.
Where are they?
Hartley stood up.
Shook one up here.
Crying for a t-shirt. You got to look, someone's waving at you, Hartley.
I waved back. She thought I was waving at her, but I wasn't, but now I am.
The t-shirts have been fired into the crowd. for all the young children here tonight.
To be fair, these lot sat in front of us, they've got the best of both worlds, haven't they? They get to watch the cricket and they get to listen to us.
Is that good though?
Of course.
Certainly is. We're going to see spin again from the river end. Chloe Tryon. It will be this time. Ishmael just floating along on. His try on the left arm spinner bowls. Knight advances and checks a drive through the covers. That is shot of the day for me. Textbook. And Knight moves to 18. 12 required off just 41 balls now. England away on their way.
That is a wonderful shot from Heather Knight. I advise everybody to go and watch that on the in-play highlights. That was beautiful from Heather Knight. Straight out the middle of the bat, past extra cover for 4.
As good as it gets, that. Tryon. What will her response be? She bowls and she advances again, but only finds Kacker at mid-wicket, so a dot ball.
Let's go, Chloe.
There's in-play highlights, but there's also highlights on BBC iPlayer at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Tune into those as well. As Tryon just changes her field, she's going to have no fine leg, and she's going to have 2 points as a ring field on the offside.
Heather
No one
got
out.
to paddle this.
Tryon in, and she goes for the paddle, and she gets hold of the paddle. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, and it's rolling for 4.
Alex Hartley, it's as if you're an opening batter.
Knight moves to 22. 8 needed from England. The fire's going here at Chelmsford. The children are up on their feet. And England fans are certainly enjoying this one.
Well, it all started when Mark Robinson took over England Women and said if there's no short fine, every single one of you has to paddle to try and manipulate the field. And with that, it has. Mid-wicket's come out and gone to short fine.
What the field, Alex?
All right.
Tryon into Knight, who advances and plays in defence, but I don't mind that at all. Positive.
We'll call it 1-1, shall we?
Yes, we shall. I wasn't letting you get away with that one. Knight on 22 off 15. England need 8 to win. His first T20 is Tryon in, and that's in defence again from Knight. There'll be no run. And if England win today, they win the series as well. South Africa can't catch up with them in this multi-format series. Tryon to Knight, and that's worked up to mid-on for a single. 7 needed then, 105 for 4. And Heather Knight keeps the strike. She's playing well. And Alex Hartley is leaving us, and we'll be joined by Georgia Alwis.
Hello.
7 runs needed.
I know, not much left, is there? These two have played very well. I've been enjoying watching Heather Knight's cover drives from the back of the commentary box.
That a shot of the day for me.
No, come
Shot
on.
of
It's
the
got to
day.
be Sophia Dunkley straight 6, surely. Did you miss that one on your burger run?
I didn't have a burger, Georgia. What are you talking about?
Proper athletes.
No, I just like the textbook element.
Yeah.
I liked how she used her feet and split the field, no risk. It's quality cricket. And that's all England have needed to do. South Africa only posting 111 from their 20 overs. 7 runs required then from 36 balls, and Ishmael, the pace bowler, into the attack bowls. 4 and that split mid-wicket. Mid-ons after it, and they come round, so it'll just be a single. England 1 shot away then from winning this first T20. There's 3 in the series, and second one is on Saturday at Worcestershire at 2:30, and on Monday you'll get the third at 6:30. 1 shot away then, Amy Jones. What have you got for us? What have you got for the fans? Ismail in bowls, and that's driven down the ground. Will only find mid-off.
Boo. No, only joking, Amy. You stay out there and get yourself a not out.
It's not like you at against Central Sparks.
Oh yeah.
You just come in and whack it for 6.
Freya Kemp left me 1 run to get. Thanks, Freya Kemp.
So you get 6.
Shorter
And a not
boundaries.
Ishmael in again tonight, bowls, and that's a slower delivery that Jones doesn't get hold of. Run. She's on 3 off 10.
It's the anticipation of these 6 runs, isn't it?
Is that significant? I'm just going to highlight, obviously, Maya Bouchier's yet to come in, another batter. Jones is still batting. She batted at 6, but she was carded to come in at 5 ahead of Bouchier, but she's 3 off 10 deliveries.
It's a player that's just struggling for a bit of confidence, I think.
Ishmael to Jones, advances. That will do her the world of good. That's 4 runs, sorry. Nearly 1 bounce, 4. And that's exactly what she needed and what we know Amy Jones is capable of. We see it in the domestic structure all the time with the bat. England need 2 runs to win now. And that's a superb shot from Amy Jones.
Yeah, absolutely right. Talk about her, the Amy Jones we know and love. That is her using her feet down the wicket. Picked it up nicely. Deserved 6.
Ishmael to Jones, and that's driven, and it finds cover. Sune loose just shakes her hand. She clearly got a sore one, but that's a dot ball.
Arguably that was a better shot. That flew off her bat, didn't it?
It shows you, doesn't it? One shot and all of a sudden you get it rolling. I said that to you when we were batting together the other week. I was like, I just need one through the covers and I'll be fine, Georgia.
You go tell her that then.
30 dots later we made it. Ishmael to Jones, she bowls, and that's guided down to 3rd man, and it races away for 4. England have won this first ODI. The crowd on their feet. They win by 6 wickets, England. And the fire goes. And this is a show from the lights here at Chelmsford. The floodlights are going round in a circle, almost like fireworks. But England have won comfortably here. Heather Knight and Amy Jones see the team home and win by 6 wickets.
Yeah, proper dominant performance there in this first T20 from England. They take the series with it, this multi-format series, and they've been greeted by a fantastic light show, akin to the one you'd find at the Mighty Molyneux.
Isn't it fantastic, Georgia? It's really good. Not ordinarily, floodlights take a while to heat up. These, they just move to order.
They're on party mode, aren't they?
They are fantastic. It's like being a disco. And England have played a little bit like that today, actually. It's been frolicsome fun for them. Not so for South Africa, who walk off again as cutting a rather dejected dash. They've lost with 5 overs to spare. You put that into T20, into rather one-day international mode. That's like losing with 12 and a half overs to spare. And they did indeed lose one by 107 balls. But the pattern is continuing. They're not getting anything like enough runs to the bat, just 111 runs today. And then their bowling, with a notable exception of Ayabonga Kaka, has just not had any kind of wicket-taking threat. England, on the other hand, they've made a successful change to the top of their order. Sophia Dunkley with that fantastic 59 from 39 balls, 3 sixes, all of them towering, one of them particularly impressive, as well as 5 fours. It was a really superb knock from her. And as the players shake hands, Georgia Elvis, it's been the same old story, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. I think we've seen change in the order, like you said. A couple of new faces, Bryony Smith coming in at debut for Izzy Wong, but much of the same. Unfortunately for South Africa, changing their order hasn't helped. I think actually it probably made them worse, and they need to find a way of getting Laura Wolvaert into this game earlier. She can't keep batting at 4 in this T20 series, I don't think. And again with the ball, they just looked lacklustre, didn't they? Not looking like, 111 runs, was never going to be enough. But even with the ball, they didn't look threatening. Kaka bowled a great spell, I thought, but it was never going to be enough to get a side back into it.
No, it wasn't. Heather Knight finished 24 not out from 18. Amy Jones was a little bit stuck, but she found her feet. I often think with Amy Jones that you've got a problem with her in a T20 lineup, because she does take a little bit of time to get going. When she does get going, she'll be very fluent and a splendid batter, but today, where do you fit her in that order? I don't know. Quick look at the bowling figures. Kaka 3 for 13, Klaas none for 25 in 2, Ishmael none for 29 in 3, Bosch 1 for 13 in 1. The Tucker bowled tidily, none for 9 off 2, and Chloe Try on 3 overs of really non-turning slow left arm, none for 25. Laura Wolvaert top scored for South Africa, 55. She got basically half the runs, half the 111 really. But Catherine Brunt today registered her best figures in T20 internationals at the age of 37. That's quite some achievement. She also drew level with Anya Shrubsole as most prolific England bowler. There are only 5 bowlers above her, and they're all catchable the way she's going, especially with 2 more matches in this series, potentially 5 in the Commonwealth Games, and more T20s to come. It's been a fantastic performance from England, but I suppose we won't tarry long, but thinking about where no performance is flawless. Bryony Smith at 3 and Amy Jones down the order. They'll come up against sterner tests, and then that might just ask some questions.
No, I think you're completely right. Sorry, I was just watching the players celebrate there, and I was listening to you talk, enjoying listening to you talking. I was just sitting back listening to you talk. No, certainly the Bryony Smith experiment didn't quite pay off today, but you can see what England are trying to do with it. They're trying to take advantage of the power play and have as many aggressive players up there as they can. Amy Jones is always going to take the gloves because she's the best wicketkeeper in England, so it's about finding a spot for her in T20. I think sometimes in the middle order it's so hard because you have to come in and play such a selfless innings that you can get those low scores because you are trying to run those runs hard and take extra risks and they don't come off, but it's about what you can do for the team. And I think this batting lineup, it looks good. I'm excited by it. I think there's a lot of boundary hitters in there. There's a lot of excitement in there, and I think the one thing that will intrigue me over the course of this series and then the Commonwealth Games is the partnership at the top and how the roles are worked out, I suppose, between Danni Wyatt and Sophia Dunkley. We saw Sophia Dunkley being the aggressor, and that's something that Danni Wyatt's not perhaps used to in her career. So how she adapts to that and how she goes about maybe just, if Sophia Dunkley's on, can she just get off strike and knock the ball around rather than looking for the big shots as well? And I think that will be something that will have to shift in her mindset as we move forward, but something that she's absolutely capable of doing.
Yep, England adopting something of a high risk approach, but it's paying off. It's paid off for the men's test team, it's paying off for the women's white ball team as well. They are all dominant over South Africa, and they have wrapped up this series with 2 matches to play. They lead it by 10 points to 2.